Let's see if it pops up in the old dashboard that I actually have up today for once.
We're every day we move closer and closer to professionalism.
We do, man. We do. And I think the day before we die, we will do one show that is 50% perfection.
We've done at least 3 shows that were on time with no problems in the beginning, the whole bit. At least I know for sure.
I completely agree. Let's see here. Okay, so I think right now we are live. I'm seeing myself in the dashboard,
I hope so.
I'm gonna go tweet out the streamies.
Oh man, here I'm gonna bring up the YouTube so I have the chat.
Because I already got it popped out. Do you pop out chat?
Yeah,
I do too. I like having a little popped out chat. All right, let's see here. Hey everyone. Hear ye. No, hey, look, we got somebody in chat. Jonathan's first. Let's see here. Tech Talk Live starts now. Gotta give it that clickbaitiness. You know, maybe put an exclamation point on there, a little clappy emoji to make them feel like they're missing out if they don't come in here.
Yeah, trim my mustache.
I don't know, but maybe I'll put some here. I'll put the topics on there just in case they're like, oh, those guys never talk about anything I want to talk about. So
we really don't.
Copy that.
Hey,
do a little baiting with the topics.
Maybe when we close out, I
don't know. I wonder if Twitter censors me if I start off my sentence with a hashtag. We're gonna find out.
I don't think so.
There's only one way to do it. Only one way to do it, my friends. Okay, here I need a police officer emoji for what I'm doing here. All right, I think I have successfully made that tweet. It's going out, the tweeters. All right, the tweet has been made. Now I'm going to head over. And if you guys are just now joining the show and warming up with us, please, by all means, go out to your social media of choice.
Yeah, go tell your friends.
Spam this all over the place since the algorithm doesn't really love us anymore.
Hit the like button. Hit that thumbs up.
It took the kids. So we're just trying to get back what little we can.
Ooh, potatoes and gravy. Well, greetings from Seattle. What's up, man?
Facebook on the big face. And then you know what I'm going to do today? Just for today and today alone, I'm going to go over to Discord and actually tell the people on Discord what I'm doing. I know it's unorthodox, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to go over there, and you know what? I'm going to wake everybody up using the everyone tag that you get a warning for. I'm going to paste that, and it's going to go, are you sure you want to send this message to 970 plus people on your server? And I'm going to be like, yep. Yeah. And then that'll wake them up. And then we should have like 20 people in here in the next 3 hours. It'll be awesome.
Mobo Dojo.
All right.
We did.
All right. Okay, let me see. Is everything working?
I don't know.
Got that. Got the 2 topics up. 3 topics. Kill the Twitter. Kill the Facebook. Get all my streams all tabbed. I'm just walking you guys through my mental process here. It's all about the mental process. Probably zoom me in a little bit so I don't look like I'm sitting 5 miles back. Here we go. Now we can have similar size heads. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Tech Talk. Yeah.
That's cool. We need a jingle.
The date today is 7/9/2022, the year of our Lord plus or give. Today we're going to be talking about a couple of topics. I know topics, right? We'll see if we ever actually get to them. Yeah. But talking about Elon Musk dropping the Twitter deal. That's going to be fun. That was a whole lot of nothing. Photonic materials, light-based CPUs. Yeah, computing in the future with photons because holodecks and shit. And abortion searches arrest. So we're talking about how states are thinking about using your data against you.
Yeah.
To prosecute you for shit that's legal in one state but not legal in another state. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
If you guys have any other topics you want to talk about, you know what to do. Just hit us with a little super chat with a message or something and ask us a question and we shall answer it for you because we are clairvoyant like that.
We do that.
G kicking it off right here with $5 super chat. He says, how's it gonna, he says, how's it gonna lurk for a while while I drive? That is awesome. He's our resident long haul truck driver.
Oh yeah, Eric.
Actually, I think he's short haul now that I think about it because he says he goes home every couple of days. So I don't know. Let us know, Eric. Are you long haul or short haul or a little bit of both?
Medium haul,
right? I cannot hear you, sir.
You don't hear me? You don't hear me? I've been talking this whole time.
Harder. Come on, you'll get it.
No, it's not me. It's not me.
Your microphone isn't working.
It's not me.
I was wondering why you didn't say it, why you weren't saying anything. I had to open up the window so that I can see the preview, and I see you, and you're like talking up a storm. Nobody can hear you.
I mean,
you'll get it. You'll get it. Hold on. I have faith in you. The pre-stream we talked just fine, so I know you can get it working.
I didn't do anything since you started the stream.
You okay? You look under the weather. I am tired. I went to bed at 4:45 a.m. and woke up at 9. So I did not get a lot of sleep. But I'll be fine. I took amphetamines and I'm drinking coffee. So he's talking now. He's talking.
I don't think it's me.
Let's see. He said it's not me. How can it not be you? Hold on here.
Here.
Okay, hold on.
It's never me.
So it's not you.
It's never me.
Okay, stand by. If it's not you, then it's got to be somewhere over here. How the hell were we talking though?
I don't know.
We were literally just talking, and it's not working now.
What did you do?
Hold on here. I got the messages. Said it's not me. Didn't do anything since the stream started. I don't think it's me.
I don't think it's me.
Here, say something.
I am saying something.
Okay, your little bar is moving inside of Video Ninja.
Hello.
So it looks like it's just not making it through to the board.
Yeah, right. See, it's not me.
Hold on. Is it? No, it wouldn't be that.
It's never me.
Would it be this? Here, say something. No?
Everybody else hears me.
No, it's not that. No, nothing on my board is
everybody
changed.
else. Everybody else hears me.
Here, say something again.
The chat hears me.
Wait, can you guys hear them? So they can hear you, but I can't hear you. And the little bar's moving. So what did I do? Did I just blow up my headphones or something? Oh my god.
That's so funny.
Can you hear me now?
It's never me. I hear you just fine.
I can hear you.
Like, it's never me. It's never. I don't change a thing.
It was
You're
me.
the one that always fiddles with stuff.
I don't. Me.
My stuff always works.
I saw the bar moving, and I was like, "Shit, you're right." Because if I see the bar moving, it's obviously getting your audio to me to move the bar. So I went and looked. You want to know what it was?
What?
I bumped the mute key on the keyboard.
What? Why do you have a mute key on your keyboard?
I just have one of the keys bound to mute. So if I'm rocking out up here to some adult material and I see somebody skirt, jiggling the door handle, I can hit that button. Windy, hit that button. And I'm out.
I see.
It's my escape hatch. When I leaned on the desk to move the camera, I think I pushed it and I didn't notice it. And then it doesn't mute in OBS. It doesn't mute, and it mutes the system audio down on the tray. Right. So I looked down the tray and there's a little X, and I was like, "Damn it!" I can hear all the ambient noise in the room.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, well, my speaker's working," but no, it's like that's going through the mixer board. That's not my system audio. Oh, you win this round. You win this round, sir. Yet again. Hey, Hant, what's up? He said, long time no see, Barnacules. I've been watching your VODs and streams since time zones make it a bit difficult to catch you live. Hello, AuxxZillary. Hope you're doing well. Are you doing well, sir?
Yeah. I mean, I'm on the mend. My calf thing still hurts and stuff, but
your calf thing. What happened to your calf?
Oh, what was it? It was a couple weeks back now. I think it was right after 4th of July. I pulled my calf. Did something bad playing softball with the company.
Oh man.
Yep.
That's like John's like, oh no, I hurt my employees.
Nah. No, I mean it's all off the clock and volunteer stuff. It's not work related.
Claims?
Yeah, no.
Okay. No. Let's see here. Eric G. Lurkamoli drives. Adam, is it Boucherati? Thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, "Hey, AuxxZillary, what are you drinking?" Yeah, what are you drinking, bro?
Iced coffee.
You drinking iced coffee? I'm having warm coffee.
Yeah,
but we both have coffee. Caffeine is important. You can't do this without caffeine.
Yeah,
it's like Network Chuck says, right? It's like, okay, take a sip.
That's right.
Do you ever watch Network Chuck?
A few of his stuff, yeah.
He makes really good content. Like he's like Jack Russell Terrier ADHD, but also super focused at the same time. It's like that is an interesting combination.
Yeah, no. Before the 4th of July, it's been 2 weeks.
Really?
Since I hurt myself. So yeah, it couldn't have been after the 4th. I'm sorry. You're right.
I didn't know your calf was all jacked up. Sorry, bro.
Look, I do not have a firm grasp of linear time. If it is not now, it was then, and it could be any time. So forgive me.
You're very binary in your application of then and now.
It's now and not now. Like there's some I've been, I just try and self-reflect and look at myself, and I've noticed if it's between like yesterday and a week ago, it'll be like the other day. If it's more than that, I get really fuzzy, and I have different phrasing for like how comfortable I feel the distance in time is. But as far as memory goes, they're all equal. They're all like an equal amount of time ago as far as my brain is concerned. Like
for
I
me,
can't.
it seems like less time impacts how long I have like a memory or how fresh a memory is, and it's more like how impactful that memory was on me.
Sure.
So like if I won't even remember what I ate for breakfast some days if it was just uneventful and it wasn't a great breakfast, but it was a great breakfast, I'll remember it 5 days from now.
Yeah. Oh
man, it just depends on how my brain stores it, or if I want, or I basically have a recycling bin in my brain too. It's like if I don't want to remember something like on purpose, like it's stressful or something like that. Oh yeah, I can just unload that thing in the recycling bin. Usually, give it a couple of hours and it's gone.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't affect me too bad. If it's something that's like stressful, then there's no way I can do that. But if it's something that's just like, oh, this is wasting space, pop it in the recycling bin.
That's cool.
Rittenhouse, not the one that shot people, said, let's see, he said, do you have a membership gifting enabled, or are you not doing that here? Do they do membership gifting on YouTube?
I think so.
Really? Is that new? I never heard about that. Here, I don't know. Let's go look under
a lot like gifting subs, right? On Twitch.
Let's see. I don't see anything in the dashboard that's like popping out at me. Is that something they recently enabled?
YouTube.
It says now would be a great time to insert ads. Wait, you can insert ads while you're just doing a stream?
Sure, why not?
Oh, I pushed the button. Shit, it said ad inserted.
Everybody's gonna get an ad now. Sorry.
Oh no. Or wait, does it insert the ad on the playback?
Maybe
the ad on the
that's
playback.
What it is.
Yeah, are you guys seeing an ad in chat? Or so wait, it says yes, turn that shit on. I don't think you can gift membership on
channel
YouTube.
Members. No, they can. I'm reading an article from May of 2022, so not too long.
Guide me through that.
With membership gifting, channel members can buy a set number of memberships in a single purchase. YouTube will gift out those memberships to other viewers. Okay, so how does it work? Gift channel memberships purchased on desktop during a creator's live stream. Click the $sign button next to the live chat.
That's like to do it, right?
Yeah.
How do I I probably have to enable it on my channel though, right?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's see here.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I was like,
I think it's below memberships, blah blah.
Where's the get paid button?
Channel memberships. Channels interested in getting early access to this feature can fill out a request form.
Okay. Can you send that to me? I'll do it later. I'm not gonna do it.
Sure.
But yeah, send a link over on the old Twitter's DM, and I'll go look into that.
This seems strange.
Oh, what?
Well, it's a Google form, and that makes me feel a little weird about it.
Oh, like Google Doc, you mean? Like
like fill this out sort of thing. This particular channel or this route that I've found doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel official. So
you'd think they just have a dashboard setting. That's what they almost always have.
But it does seem to be a beta. I'm seeing YouTube videos and stuff from a few days ago, upwards of a month or more.
Oh, so it might need to be enabled for each account.
Yeah. Even what's his name? Harrison. He's a big streamer helper guy on YouTube. Harris Heller. I'm sorry, Harrison. Okay. He's got a video about it on the 13th. So they may have just recently announced that this is a thing coming.
Okay. Well, at least now I know it exists and it's a real thing, so I can go and search and see how to turn it on, because that would be cool. Because I mean, gifted subs are awesome. Hey, Roman Lubers, thank you for the $10 super chat. You were a gentleman and a scholar, or neither of those things, but we appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, that's cool, man. Yeah, coffee. Thank you, Roman.
Yeah, we'll take it, man. I mean, it's still cheaper than gasoline, right? Who thought we'd see the day where like a Starbucks coffee is cheaper than a gallon of gas, right? Like I never thought I'd see that day. Dude, talking about how old we are.
Yeah,
we're gonna date ourselves a little here. Although you're a youngster compared to me. I'm 42. You're still in your 30s, right?
Yeah, I turned 36 yesterday.
Yeah, look at you, man. Oh shit, I didn't even wish you a happy birthday, man. I'm a shitty friend.
Didn't you?
Well, retroactively, I bid you happy birthday.
Thanks, man.
I bid you happy birthday, my friend. 36 years around the sun.
Yeah.
No, when I was a kid, I have vivid memories of us we had a gas station right across the street from our house, like right where you pulled out on the road. It was a little 2-lane road, and there's a gas station across the way. And I remember when we paid, it was 87 cents a gallon for regular gasoline. And this is like leaded. Remember, this is back when everything was leaded. Like I grew up on the leaded gasoline. Explains a lot. So you had leaded gasoline, then you had unleaded, and then you had like premium unleaded. Those were like the types of fuel. But regular was leaded fuel back then, and leaded fuel is now illegal outside of aviation. So it was 87 cents a gallon. So I was thinking about that, and I was like, growing up, it was 87 cents. When I moved out of my parents' house, it was like, I think it was $1.60 something at the same gas station, because the same gas station was across the street for like first 20 years of my life. And then I remember, I think the most it ever went up to was like $1.70 something. And I was like, man, what a rip. Like I was like, dude, this is like I was driving to like the AM PM and stuff trying to get the cheaper gas, right? And or not AM PM, back then it was like Conoco or something like that. But I was like, damn, I look at gas prices today and it's like, holy crap. I like when I started, it was less than $1 a gallon. Now in some places it's like $6-7 a gallon. It's just like the inflation on this. I mean, 600% increase in the cost of fuel since when I was a kid.
Wow,
that's wild, man. Like if it stays on that trend, you know, another 40 years, we're going to pay like $20-30 a gallon.
Huh. So check your Twitter. Sense. I was a little wrong, by the way. So I'm just poking around. I didn't want to let this go. On June 28th, channel membership gifting expanding to all eligible monetizing creators.
Oh, okay.
To be eligible for gifting memberships, gifting your channel must 1, turn on channel memberships. Here's how if you haven't already. I think
it's enabled. I haven't enabled.
That is enabled. 2, add names for each of your channel membership levels. Have at least one pricing level $5 or below.
I think that's it. I have that. I think that's it. And it should be enabled. Let me check that second one though. Hold on here. So go to monetization, video advertising, super chats. Okay, so see more under supers. Oh, wait, it wouldn't be under super chat. Never mind. It was under channel membership, right?
Yes.
Here we go. Okay, so memberships. Yes, so I have members. Right here, new features for membership perks. You can now add loyalty badges for 3- and 4-year members. Additionally, you can offer up to 6 levels and set higher prices. Do you want to update to the new perks level? Yes,
I would say.
So I'm gonna click on that button. Let's see, man. We're in dangerous territories now. Okay, it says tailor your offer to work for you as well as your viewers. And it says offer at least 3 price levels has shown to boost revenue. See, I'm giving you guys the inside track here. Offer perks that you think can deliver consistently and growing number of members. And it just has one called unnamed. Well, we could probably give it a better name than unnamed. You're my best friend. There we go. That'll work. Encouraging them parasocial relationships. All right, so $5 or $4.99. Popular access to Jitter episodes, so you get access to the Jerry and the Raw episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I post them here. I need to make a new one though. I haven't made one in a while.
You still do that on Patreon?
Yeah, I haven't made one like in a month. I gotta go do that.
I was thinking about doing something like
you
that
should, man.
On Patreon.
You should. Why
do but like different content. Like I always like this idea of a junk food journal where I talk about like different food that I eat and stuff, especially like chicken wings. I'm a big fan of chicken wings, chicken and waffles. These are like things that if I see it on a menu, I'll almost always get it.
Okay, so this is weird. Yeah. Check this out. So I named my perk and I just named it like friend, and it just gives me a error thing and says you can't do this. Like what?
I don't have a cool enough YouTube channel myself to have any of this stuff, so I can't help.
Wait, do I have to add the perk? What am I doing here? Okay, so you're my friend. Or channel friend. And their UI is kind of garbage.
It's not very good. I have to say, it is absolutely horrendous trying to find analytics for live streams. Because once the stream ends, it becomes a video. And it will start to feed you analytics as if you had uploaded a video. It is really hard to find. All I want is like the analytics for when I was live, like a month from now sometimes. And it's really hard to find that data. It's kind of shitty. Facebook is even worse. I still cannot figure out how anybody is enjoying live streaming to Facebook.
But a ton of people I see do it though, so it must just be the size of your audience.
It just boggles the mind. I don't know how they manage it. It is like the actual process of streaming and whatever. That's easy. You flip a switch, you insert the right RTMP server stuff, and it's fine, whatever. But I'm talking about like as far as data analytics and stuff, like finding all of your information. I have no fucking clue. It's garbage. Facebook's business suite thing in the background for like business pages and stuff is even worse. It takes forever to load. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna rant on some.
No, rant.
Just ranting on some bullshit. It takes forever to load. I still have notifications for messages that there are no new messages, and I still have like notification flags saying, "Hey, man, you have unread messages." I have no unread messages. It's annoying. It's awful.
So one thing I do like about YouTube that they do right though is the analytics. Like
for videos,
the analytics for at least for videos. I don't know about the other stuff because I don't do the other stuff. But But yeah, their analytics for videos are like so deep dive. Like you can get down to like the ages and the demographics and the areas and
how long they watched,
viewing
which parts
hourship. How long did they
which
watch?
parts
How much
people
did they
watched
skip?
the most and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it. I like the it's like I'm not sure like the right word. It feels like a histogram, but like you'll be seeing the timeline of the video, like you're watching it, and it'll show like in kind of a gray fuzzy background. It'll show like this is where a lot of people watched, or we'll skip to like, and it's got like a rise in it. Like this is a part that people are watching a lot, and or have stuck through these certain sections and stuff. And I don't know, it's good data.
It's funny because like Pornhub does the same thing.
I was just thinking that it was like in the back of my head, but like YouTube, I was like, yeah, somebody. Oh, hey, that's clever. We're gonna take that.
Yeah, no, it's funny because that's where I noticed it. I didn't notice it on YouTube first. I noticed it there. I was like, why is there like this little mountain, like little peaks and valleys? And then you fast forward to it, and you're like, oh, we got like a Nielsen's rating crew out here, like hitting the button when the stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
So you can just skip the, you don't have to watch the part where it's like the piano teacher comes and like tunes the piano first. It's like you can just get right to the lessons.
Right, like in the latest Stranger Things, they're like, who pauses Fast Times at Ridgemont High at 53 minutes and 42 seconds? It's people who like boobs. They want to see boobs.
Oh, is that the Phoebe Cates getting out of the pool scene?
I think yeah, I think that's it.
Or there's two scenes. There's that one I think of Fast Times, then there's the other one with God, I can't remember her name, but on the couch scene.
I don't know, man.
Oh man, it's been so long. I haven't seen Fast Times since I was probably in my early 20s. It's been a while.
And I get it mixed up with American Graffiti, I think.
I don't know. I've never seen it. I've never seen American Graffiti.
Well, because like is it? It's Fast Times that's got McConaughey, right? Where he's like, that's the thing I love about high school girls. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a bit of it, but yeah, man.
No, that honestly, that's like this. That's the one thing everybody remembers from it, right?
You cool? Are you cool?
Yeah, you cool, man?
Yeah, I mean, no, man. Like, do you smoke weed? Oh, no. Be a lot cooler if you did.
Didn't he like order like pizza to class or something too? Like Spicoli?
Oh, Dazed and Confused. That's the one I get mixed up with.
With
Fast Times all the time. Yeah, my bad.
So
see, I get them mixed up.
The Spicoli surfer guy. He was in Fast Times, right?
You can't fix this Spicoli? No, man. My dad's got this like monster toolbox, man.
I love that character. You know what that character reminded me of is Casey Neistat a little bit.
Oh, a bit. Oh, I see that. Yeah,
I definitely got Casey Neistat vibes. When I first saw Casey Neistat, I was like, the way he talks and just the way he looks as the surfer dude, I was like, dude, that's Spicoli. Spicoli grew up and had kids and got a camera.
Oh man, yeah. See, I get them. I'm all mixed up. Then I have to watch them all. Dazed and Confused and Fast Times again.
Yeah, I heard about that. American Graffiti is more about the driving, Main Street. You know, I heard American Graffiti had like a lot of car culture stuff in it. And that's why I'm surprised I've never seen it. Because I love stuff like Bullet. I haven't seen Bullet in forever, but Bullet is amazing. If you're into like car driving scenes and stuff, they don't film them like that anymore. It's like everything is like augmented with CGI. Back then, it's like, nope, we're really gonna run cars into shit and just blow it up in single takes. And if the car flips 3 times instead of 4 times, whatever, just roll with it.
The French Connection has killer chase scenes and stuff in it too.
100%
back in the day, 70s. Car chases and stuff were outrageous.
Yeah, they don't do them the same way anymore though, just because they're so damn dangerous.
Oh yeah, the Blues Brothers, they crashed like 75 of those pursuit vehicles, like insane. Like one of the biggest car crashes they've ever done on film.
Caprice or something like that. The cop car. They wreck them all.
Yeah, there's like, I don't know. At the time, I think it was the biggest like crash scene anybody had done. Involved the most cars ever, kind of thing.
Well, it's like the AMC General, right? Is the only reason that car is worth anything today because it's such a piece of crap. Is the Dukes of Hazzard's like destroyed like 90% of them. There was. I think I read that some of their shows destroyed 7 cars in one show. Wow. And you're like, how is that? I mean, they must have been giving them the cars. Because you couldn't afford back then to just have a budget for 7 cars for like a TV show. I don't think. Right? I don't think TV shows were making that much money back then.
No, probably not.
Probably more than today, though. If you like driving scenes, you got to see the French Connection. Yeah, that's what we're just saying. French Connection is a fantastic car movie.
Yeah, man. One great chase scenes and stuff in there for sure.
And even though they're a little bit campy, I like the I like the chase scenes in the Bond movies, like not the newest Bond movie, but like some of the little older ones, like Pierce Brosnan and stuff. I like the way they filmed those because it was kind of a throwback, like with the the cameras on the bumpers and cars chasing real cars in high speed pursuits, and like when they're on the ice and the car like deploys the skis or whatever, it really was a car with really real skis deployed.
I believe it.
I was like, dude, that is awesome. Like that's doing stuff practically is neat. Like. And the funny thing is, like back when it was done practically, we were like, when it was done with computers, it blew our mind. When we saw like the Matrix and stuff, we were like, oh man, I think through that practical effects. But then after a while, you harken back and you're like, man, I kind of miss like knowing what's happening on the screen was really happening.
Yeah, I think we're in an uncanny valley for CG right now, where like they can do some effects and you don't notice, and they're gorgeous and it's perfect. Like True. I always think of the time suits in Endgame. In Avengers Endgame, they painted those in later.
If you didn't, like that's amazing. Tell me, I did not notice.
Did not notice.
I still don't notice, even though they tell you, and we know it's done. I watched it just like a week ago, and I was like, "It's perfect." There's not even a single flaw in the fabric, the way it moves. I looked at it with like a scrutinying eye on like a 75-inch screen, and you cannot tell me that it's not natural. Like it's like you want to call them liars. You want to be like, "Oh, maybe they did have the suits."
It still blows my mind that the T-Rex scene is CG, because like you can tell at the beginning when they show all the brontosauruses and stuff in the big field and on whatnot, you can tell that's fake. It's really, really good for the time, like amazing, but you can tell that's fake. For the longest time, I thought the T-Rex, like when there's that scene where Alan Grant, he's got the flare and and he's kind of in the foreground and the T-Rex is kind of in the background and he's looking at him. I thought that was like forced perspective, miniature sort of animatronics or something. Nope, it's CG. It's CG. The head, when it comes crashing into the top of the thing, that's real.
That's the practical.
That's an actual robotic thing. But yeah, and that still to this day blows my mind. They did such a great job with the lighting and the rain and all this stuff to make it look to like fit it in there. It's amazing.
You know how much easier it is to do CG now than it was back then?
Oh man, anybody. You God. See these things people making on just their like computers at home. It blows my mind.
I was watching the making of Titanic, right? So Titanic was considered a breakthrough also, right? They used a lot of CG and new stuff in that movie. And the way that the practical effects blend with the CGI is almost seamless. Like you have to really be looking to notice. And they showed behind the scenes like how these guys are doing everything. They're working on like wireframe graphics on their workstations, and then waiting like a day or two to get a render back to look at it and match the lighting, make corrections, and do it again. And you're like, they don't. It's not like they're sitting there like a painter going, "Oh, that doesn't look right. Touch that. Touch that." They're having to like mentally look at a single render, like a small little render of video, and go, "Oh, that's not right. That's not right." Go back and tweak it in wireframe with no textures.
Yeah,
and it just looks blocky and cartoonish, like old video games. And then they have to put it through and render it again on an SGI farm. And it was just they had to do that over and over and over again. It's like when you see the end product is so perfect without them ever really seeing the final product as they were working on it, that takes some skill. Like today now, computers are so powerful with all you got your GTXs, you got your Tesla cards and shit. And rendering farms tied into like 100 megabit Ethernet fiber optic Ethernet, and you can sit there on your workstation and use the render farm and like literally be rendering the thing in real time at 80% of its detail. I think it was one of the Toy Story movies. I think I read somewhere that's like one of the Toy Story movies took almost a full year of render time.
I believe it.
So to render
it'd have to be one of the early ones, either the first or second. Really,
it's just like crazy.
After that, Pixar and Disney had so much fucking money. You can see it even in the turnaround time from between the first and second one was like 5 years. Yeah, because it took so freaking long to do 3D animation like that. It's just it was insane. I think the first one took 5 years to do. Even like it was forever, and then toward the end, you see them knock them out like 2 years, a year, two, something like that.
Yeah, I bet you something like Moana now, like just because with all the cards being able to do physics simulation and everything, they probably just render a 80% draft on their desktop while they're at lunch.
Yeah.
For sure. Without having to wait days and days and days and days.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, even back during Titanic, when it took them like, a week to get back a render to go through and like figure out where it needs to be touched up and needs to be fixed. that was still faster than doing it practically, because to do it practically, you had to build a big miniature that was like 1/16th scale of the Titanic, which they actually did do. But then you'd have to damage it, right?
For some of the sinking scenes.
You'd have to damage it, and then you can't go back after that, right? If you break it, then you have to build another replica and hope people don't notice. There are a lot of mistakes in that movie, though. Like when you watch the behind the scenes, you don't notice it when you're watching the movie, but then you can't unnotice it. Like one of them is like Titanic is actually spelled backwards. When they put the camera on the other side of the ship, it's flipped because they use the same side of the ship and they just flipped the camera to make it look like they were filming the other side of the ship because it's symmetrical. And so Titanic is like backwards on the placard that's on the deck. And I never noticed until they pointed it out. And I looked at it and they're like, oh, that's because we could only film one side of the miniature ship. They only really finished one side of it to look proper. Yeah. And then the other side was just superficially finished because it cost too much and it was going over budget or whatever. So they just filmed the one side, and anytime they're on the other side of the ship, they just flip the video and they make sure that everybody's wearing clothing that doesn't have any wording or anything on it.
Yeah.
And then I think there's one scene where they do have wording, like the waiters or something have wording when they're running on the deck, and they just reverse their badges. So the badges they're wearing have backwards text.
Oh, geez.
Isn't it? I mean, it's kind of clever how they come up with solutions for that stuff, though.
Huh.
Toy Story's messed up, lost a lot of renders, etc. I heard about that.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, it wasn't the first movie though. I thought it was like Toy Story 2 or 3 or something. They like lost
They did like 98% of it lost it. Yeah. That's a great story. Somebody had a local copy at their house.
That movie almost didn't make it. Got wiped off all the servers, all the backups. It was literally an employee that took it home that saved that movie.
That's so cool.
They should have put that in the credits. Like that honestly should have been in the credits. You're watching this movie because Steve,
Jim.
Steve from the test fishbowl had a copy of this on his computer when he wasn't supposed to.
Jeez.
Because I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to take that shit home. I am me. Thank you for the $10 super chat. He said, How are you two fine gentlemen?
Pretty good.
I'm doing all right. How about you? You doing good?
I'm all right. Yeah. Let's see.
He said, anyways, Barnacules, tried Horizon 5 the last days. Handling has been tweaked, especially for rear-wheel drive cars. Oh, no, I haven't. I haven't played Horizon 5 in probably 2 months. I should fire that shit up. So what? They did some physics tweaking? Was that like something people wanted? I mean, that game has always been very arcade-ish. So are they trying to make it a little bit more like...
I like arcade racers more than simulations.
It depends on what I'm doing with it. Like Horizon, when you're flying off jumps and like exploring and stuff. Yeah. I like the whole GTA 5 just really wonky bonks, right? I like go flying and flipping through the air.
That's where I'm at. I like Need for Speed. I like what was that? Burnout. You know, those sorts of arcade. I'm not big on like Forza. Or man, even Dirt. I try and play Dirt and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't. And I think it's because I can't feel anything. If it's gonna be real
on a force feedback wheel, have you?
If it's gonna be realistic, I can drive well. I feel like I could do well at racing. Well enough. I mean, not pro status or nothing, but I feel like I can do okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I fail is like because so much of my driving experience in real life is like by feel. I get to know how the car moves and reacts and wiggles and stuff, and like I can't feel any of that when I'm doing simulation racing. Whereas arcadey stuff, it doesn't matter. I can just
one of these weekends I will drag you to my house and we will build the racing simulator that's been sitting here for 2 years. I actually have two full-blown racing simulators. They just got to be put back together. Yeah. One of them's never been built before, and the other one's like 80% built. It just needs a couple other things put back on it. But and the cool thing is I got the VR. I got two VR HMDs, so you don't even need the monitors. We do the whole thing in VR. So we could literally be sitting right next to each other in two different racing cockpits, racing around, but seeing ourselves in the game, at different distances. I think it'd be pretty cool. I think it'd be fun. It'd make a cool YouTube video too. But no, when you have force feedback, it's a game changer. And it's not just any force feedback. It's like if you have a cheap force feedback wheel, it can almost be annoying because of the lag and the play that you get in the system. It just doesn't feel, what you're seeing on the screen does not fit with what you're feeling. Yeah. But if you have like a linear motor, like a DC or AC linear drive motor, like they use a servo on a machine that you can go all the way from like, a mouse fart all the way up to, getting clamped in the forks of a pickup truck or something.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's shit. I think the one I have is 3 horsepower. It's enough to completely shatter your wrists if it doesn't have the restraints enabled.
Wow.
So it even has an emergency stop button on it where you have to actually, and you put it next to your foot. So if you get your feet or you get your hands tangled up in the steering wheel or whatever, you can kick it before it like breaks too much. So, but no, then it starts feeling super realistic because then the wheel, because the wheel doesn't have a bunch of like brushes and it doesn't have a bunch of lag in the electronics. you can actually like, catch a slide and stuff like that and drift really easily. Most of those drifters you see in games where they're using like, steering wheels like a Thrustmaster or a Logitech, they're having to apply a lot of like tweaking their brain to work around the leg and the rebound. Like you turn the wheel and it'll just go like this. It'll go boom, 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 boom.
Oh,
boom,
weird.
Boom, 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 because the leg will cause it to get in this rubber banding effect. Whereas the linear motor doesn't do that. The linear motor feels just like you're driving a real car. It feels
I think I'd have more fun with it that way. If it was, I've seen some guys selling on Facebook like little sit down cockpit setups and stuff for $350 or something, $350, $500. I just don't. I'm not that into it. It'd be cool. It'd be fun if I had like the space and stuff, but it's just I'll play my Need for Speed with my controller and stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, it's more for simulation stuff. Like you're not going to be playing GTA 5, on a full-blown racing rig or something like that, right?
Sure.
It just doesn't work. You're not going to be playing even Forza or Horizon 5 unless you're, sadomasochistic or something.
Yeah.
But for like racing simulators, like true racing simulators for like iRacing and stuff, where it's like everything is focused on the driving model and all the way down to how the tire wears and the surface and the friction between the surface with oil and water. I mean, they do all that stuff. Then when you have a cockpit where you can feel every single little thing through the pedals and through the steering wheel, you throw on some VR goggles and it's like you feel like you're there.
Oof.
And I mean, you can even add stuff like the hardcore guys even add these little turbine wind tubes that blow at your face. So as you accelerate, the wind speed picks up at your face. And at your
I don't need any of that.
No, but the cool thing is if you have VR goggles on, which are like goggles you'd wear on your visor and your helmet, you feel the wind everywhere else. It's like it adds to that effect, right? You start believing the speed in the game. It's like little things like that can actually make an insane difference. Like I was on a racing simulator once. It was at a CES in Las Vegas where I sat on this one that had a seat. The whole simulator didn't move, just the seat. The seat just moved like this much.
Yeah, okay.
It had these hydraulics on it that would like go backwards, forwards, left and right. And so when you're driving, it's like when you slammed on the brakes, the seat would push you forward. But then the straps were mounted on the frame. So when the seat pushed forward, it pulled the straps into you.
Yeah, nice.
And when it pushed you back in your seat, it loosened up the straps. So when you'd punch it on a straightaway, you'd feel like you were accelerating just by the seat just flipping back.
Yeah.
And then when you slammed on the brakes, it'd kind of scoot you forward a little bit, and you'd feel like and you hit the bump, and the seat's like, and you go into the corner. And between being able to do that and feeling all of the steering points and feel the pedal even do this, like the pedal would even do that whole ABS kickback. I was like, dude, this is killer. I want this. And then he's like, oh, well, it's $8,000 upgrade. I was like, man. I was like, you can have it. Hey, Chris, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. You're a legend. You said, I listened to you while driving my dump truck, working 12-hour shifts. Damn, that's rough. This is the first time I've caught you live. Keep on keeping on. Dude, I'm glad we can entertain you while you're driving around your big old dump truck. So do you drive like, is it a dump truck you go on the street, or is it like one of those like coal miner dump trucks that can like move a house? Oh, did you just get served a delectable breakfast?
She's showing up.
See, I think it's the things we said before we started the stream.
It was.
Yeah.
I think she's like, man, I got to prove these guys. She's fuck you guys.
She must have saw Miss Barnacules bring me a coffee.
Huh? Yeah.
Hey, you step it up.
It's worth the 40 hours a week.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Robert. Robert Settles, thank you for that $20 super chat, man. That's beyond generous. Biggest super chat of the day. We love you long time, dude. Here, yeah.
Man, I gotta get some kind of macro buttons. I'm doing it.
If I could just get off my ass and dig this room out, I have like multiple stream decks. I don't need them all. So
what do you mean multiple? How's that?
I've got 2 15 buttons and 1 6 button somewhere.
Wow.
And I got to go dig them out. So
jeez, man. I do have a paper sack full of Ubiquity stuff that I need to give back to you.
Dude, that Ubiquity shit has been passed around so many times. We need to find a home. We need to find somebody who can.
I do have to say it's super EOL. So it anybody wants to use it, it's gonna have some hoops to jump through.
Yeah, no, I'll get it back from you next time I see you. And I think I know somebody else who needs a basic network. So that's the problem with the Ubiquity stuff. Is it's really easy to set up. It's really expensive, but it's really easy to set up. It's really performant. Yeah. It's a great
good
product.
Stuff, man.
But
I was so stunned
when it goes end of life. They just completely turn their back on it. Like
I had to
keep that in service.
I was digging around in forums and stuff. There is a good. It seems to be a good like support community that people have saved, like installers and driver things and software installers and whatnot for that exact reason. Like once Ubiquity moves to a new thing, like that's it. But they do stick to that thing for quite a while. They like these aren't the round ones, they're the square ones.
Yeah.
These had like a 10-year life. Like they rocked this version for a long time.
And if I remember, I think they're still I think they're like 802.11g or something, which like back when they came out, that was like bleeding edge.
Yeah.
Like they were probably one of like 2 companies that was actually selling a consumer product.
Yeah.
They did that. So they've got a lot of life in them. That's what I like about Ubiquity. If you buy into it, it's like, yeah, you're not going to be replacing them but once every
2 years or so. Yeah, like they last for, I mean, it's the shit you see at stadiums and stuff. I'm always looking around when I'm in big commercial places, and it's always Ubiquity access points. You can tell every time. They're round little disc thing that sits up off the ceiling, or you'll see sometimes the big monster like directional ones. It's like a tube. And those are for like hallways and stuff. They go like more sideways broadcasting rather than like big circles. It's freaking cool.
I feel like most businesses use them. Like when you go into businesses, like you see that round disc, that frisbee everywhere. And I don't. It's like, does anybody else make like a mesh, network for businesses? Because like it's the only one I see.
I'm sure Cisco and stuff have solutions. Any of the big networking guys would, but they just seem to be the top dog.
Yeah, Cisco's a little played out these days. Like Cisco used to be like the big dog, and it's like I hardly ever hear about him anymore. It's like there's so many companies that people think are cheaper and better than Cisco, and then all the stuff that Cisco used to offer, you can actually get like more functionality from stuff like PF Sense running on like an old machine. Will kick the shit out of like a Cisco Catalyst router that used to cost like $100,000.
Yeah.
So it just I think Cisco kind of lost their market there, but I could be wrong. I mean, they still have a Cisco certification. It's still respected in the industry. So my guess is that, Cisco is still being used for like the ultra high end. But when I worked at Microsoft, we replaced even back then, we replaced all the Cisco stuff. I don't remember what the brand was, but it was purple. We replaced every single Cisco Catalyst router in every single closet that we had and things that we replaced with these big purple routers they were the same size, different brand, but they were like better in every single way. And they were so much easier to manage than the Cisco OS crap. It's like you didn't have to drop into a command line and know like a bunch of proprietary shit to like program the thing. It's like you could actually like connect to a web interface and stuff. And this was back in like this would be like 2010, I think was when we did the swap.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you looking at?
They're an Adafruit macro pad RP 2040 starter kit. Sorry, I'm a little slobbery because I had my most delicious potato salad. 3x4 keys with an encoder, an OLED. Adabox 019 Essentials.
Wait, what? Here, link that in chat. I want to click on that.
Hold on.
Is that something that's for sale right now, or where'd you see this?
Let me see if this works. I want to take out all the telemetry shit from the link because it's huge otherwise. Okay, here we go. In the chat. Bang, bang, bang.
There it is. All right. I like Adafruit.
I wonder what like what you can do with the knob and stuff. I wonder. This looks interesting.
I mean, it says speaker on it, like for volume, but it's a rotary encoder, so you can make it do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of trip, dude. So $50, so little under half the price of a Stream Deck
for $50, and then it's like super customizable. It's a macro key, basically. You can do anything you want with it.
Yeah, you could 3D print a little housing for that. To like connect it onto your keyboard or mount it on your desk at an angle. No, that's pretty sweet.
Sure, that's a 10 key.
So is that like
technically 12? It's 12 keys, but like I could actually have a 10 key again with my.
Oh, but you have to solder everything on this for that. It doesn't come assembled for that. Do they have an assembled price? I wonder.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, I don't want to fucking solder this thing.
There's a full starter kit including.
Oh, it's got 2 PCBs. It's got a PCB on the bottom and on the top. Okay.
Get ready to upgrade.
It looks like it also has like a key mask. So Neopix, isn't Neopix an LED maker? Like Neopixel or something?
No.
Okay.
You don't have to put together. I don't think there's any soldering going on here.
Really? I don't know.
Does it? No. It looks like it comes put together.
I don't know. Click on the images down below. Like all the images show the individual components, and it says kit, which implies you got to put it together.
I wonder if that's just
strap yourself in. We're launching T minus 10 seconds. A new class called the Micropad. Okay, we'll see. Here we go.
There might be something to do with the keys. Like you could put your own keys onto this thing, but it seems simple
it says this full, because you do have to solder the keys. You can't just like stick them through the holes. You do have to solder them. It said this is the full macro pad starter kit, including keys, keycaps, and enclosure. I don't know why they don't show the enclosure. Like it says it comes with an enclosure, but they don't show it in any of the images. It says the starter pack includes the Adafruit macro pad, let's see here, Kale mechanical switches, clear keycaps, Adafruit macro bottom plate, the keyboard plate, the D shaft skirted rubber knob, the M3 screws, and rubber feet. And it looks like here, let's see, each of the 12 sockets can accept a Cherry MX compatible switch. I'm just trying to look for something where it says you have to assemble.
Yeah, where do you put it together?
Yeah, because it's like the thing is like soldering. It's like some people are really good at it. I am not good at it, and a lot of it has to do with just I have a shitty soldering iron. So no, I guarantee you, man, from Adafruit, this is not assembled. There is no way this is assembled. Somebody let us know though, if that is the assembled kit, because for $50, that's an awesome deal. But if you got to like solder all that shell, that micro solder, all that shit and everything, you're gonna have, you're probably gonna have
I'm not gonna have a
good
good time.
labor into that.
I'll tell you right now.
I mean, as long as it works, you're not gonna have a good time if you like burn out the solder traces and have to put a bunch of bodge wires all over it.
Yeah, that's not fun.
So what? Okay, that's not too bad. I like that it has the little mini OLED screen too. So like you could click the buttons and probably have stuff show on the display. So instead of like the Stream Deck where each button is a screen, it's like this one you like push the button and have the screen show something.
Yeah, no. So Joe here in the chat says each of the 12 sockets can accept a compatible key switch. No soldering required. Just snap the keys in. So it may, some assembly may be required,
but it's not soldering.
I feel like it's,
because they did solder the knob on. The knob key is soldered in place.
That's in there for sure. Yeah, that's
so why wouldn't they solder everything else? So you're right. It must just pop in. Yeah, Miss Barnacules actually posted in chat. She said it's totally assembled. Shit, for $50.
Oh, it says no soldering required right in the text. Well, for the keys at least, right?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I kind of want to get one.
I'm tempted. This seems pretty cool.
I could see there's a lot of uses for something like that, honestly.
Yeah.
The thing is too is like there's probably so many different softwares you could use with this, because I guarantee it just pops up as like an HID device, like a keyboard, so you can just program it to do whatever. And it's USB-C.
Like Stream Deck, you should try Touch Portal. It's a digital version. Oh, I'll try.
Touch Portal is pretty cool. It runs on like if you have an old cell phone or an old tablet, like Android tablet, it'll run on there and it'll basically give you like the functionality of the Stream Deck using just a touch screen on any device, pretty much. Oh wow, man! Adafruit has like you can get a key on top of a USB thing that just sticks out the side of the computer, so like your laptop just has an extra key sticking out of the USB port. That's kind of cool.
Just a button.
Yeah, or just a rotary dial sticking out of the side of your laptop. Tinker display, sliders. Okay,
I'll check that out.
Man, they got some cool stuff. I mean, I could see this getting expensive really fast.
Hey man, any sort of mechanical keyboards and stuff, it starts getting real expensive.
Oh, it does make me want to see. I always wanted to get into like embedded programming and stuff like that, like making standalone devices from like hardware and coding. And now when you got stuff like the Raspberry Pi 3 and Raspberry Pi 4, they can run like managed code. It's like so attainable now. It's like really hard to not get into it. However, the thing that's keeping me from getting into it is the price and availability. Like it is hard to get a hold of Raspberry Pis right now.
Oh, I bet.
Like that
with the chips and stuff.
The shortage, absolutely. Hey, I mean, thank you. The 50.
Hey,
wow,
what's up, Graham?
$50? Damn. I mean,
for $50, that's really cool. Oh, hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, damn.
You
give him a couple rim shots. Yeah, there we go. He said, having a great day today. Well, that's good. Your great day is our great day.
Yeah.
So here's a small bonus. He said, is David that's not working today? That trader. Yeah, he actually messaged us early this morning, right when I got on the chat. He was there before I even was, and he's like, oh, hey guys, sorry, I got to do stuff around the house today, but you guys have an awesome time. But yeah, I love David. He's such a cool dude.
It's neat.
He's such I'll fangirl over that guy, forever and ever and ever, for as long as I can. He's just a good, genuine dude. He's like the opposite of what you'd expect like a Hollywood type to be.
Right.
Which I know that's that's like stereotyping like hell, because it's like, how many people from Hollywood do I know?
I think just the one.
Well, I know him. I know Trinity from Trailer Park Boys.
Oh yeah.
I did talk to I can't ever remember his name. The guy, chair handler or whatever on Twitch, the Walking Dead kid, Carl.
Oh,
I can't remember his name. Used to talk to him. Jake Lloyd played Anakin Starwalker. He used to be my friend back in the day, but then he went to the Hooskow. So yeah, he went to jail. He unfortunately had some substance abuse problems and ran from the cops a couple of times, and that didn't go well. Yeah, dude, that whole Anakin Skywalker thing, like Phantom Menace, ruined him. Like literally, people were like telling him he destroyed the franchise, and he was always known as like the kid that ruined Star Wars. And he was only like 10 years old when he did it, and it fucked him up to the point where if anybody even brought up like Star Wars or Phantom Menace, like even if they were being nice about it, he just banned him out of the Twitch channel. Like the mods would be like standing order. If anybody brings that shit up, just ban him, because it was like PTSD to him. And I was like, man, that sucks. Because everybody that's gonna comes up to him is gonna be like, "Oh my god, it's Anakin from Star Wars." And he's like, "No, he ain't having it." Like that shit is like PTSD.
That sucks, because there is like a whole generation of kids who watched those movies, loved them, and are now adults. And like, that was kind of the point.
Yeah,
it's shitty. It's shitty. I mean, yeah, Star Wars fanboys not that great. How many actors and actresses they run off of social media because of it?
Yeah, I feel like just fanboyism is just at an all-time high. It's just crazy in general. It doesn't matter what it is. Like lately, the ones that I've been noticing are like the Elon Musk fanboys, right? The cult of Musk. That shit's getting out of control. That's getting absolutely out of control. You know, like the latest thing that's going on over on Twitter right now is that Musk starts posting out of the blue, just completely out of the blue, unprompted, has never talked about it before, and all of a sudden his pinned tweet is like, "Oh, our population is diminishing, and this is a greater threat to humanity than climate change, and we need to get our birth rates up, and everybody needs to do the job." And it's like, what the fuck is he talking about? And then we find out 2 days later he's got 2 secret kids coming out.
Right.
Yeah, so he's up to 9 kids, and we're probably going to find out Amber Heard has a 10th. So he has kids sprinkled all over the place, and everybody's finding out about him now. And because they're finding out about him, he's like, "Oh, we got to populate the world." So then he was like tweeting when it came out in the news, he's like, "I'm just doing my job. I'm just populating the earth. You should too." Oh, what a wackadoo, man. Yeah, I don't get that appeal anymore. Like I used to, don't get me wrong. I mean, I fell for it too. I used to think Elon Musk was like this crazy smart guy that was like making moves and making everything happen and getting us to Mars. And you know, I drank all the Kool-Aid, but then you go look and you're like, nah, he's just the face of the companies. He's just a token genius, you know, just like that everybody, because if people leave the company to do it, like for instance, the Model S, I always thought that he made the Model S. Like the Roadster failed. Right. And I thought he made the Model S, and it turns out he didn't. The Model S was actually like designed completely like from the Lucid CEO, the guy that now makes the Lucid cars. Oh, he was the guy that was hired by Tesla to make the Model S. He designed the Model S. He was involved with the team. And Elon likes to say, "Oh, he might have had some cues on the styling, but he had nothing to do with the electronics and the drivetrain and stuff." No, he absolutely did. Soup to nuts, he was involved in that car. And so, and Elon really wasn't. Elon just kind of sat back and said, "Oh, well, my first car was a failure. Like the Roadster was an absolute unequivocal failure. I need to sit back and let the experts do it, and then just be the face of the company. Just be the face of the company, right? And just go around and do this." Same thing with SpaceX. It's like he's not designing these rockets. People are like, "Oh, he's a genius, and he designed a rocket that lands on its ass or something." It's like, no, he didn't. Yeah, he took a bunch of fucking NASA engineers and a lot of previous research, and they figured it out. And it's just his company. All he cares about is this is the goal, to make the most money. This is the marketing strategy to make the most money. You guys go do your thing and don't let me down. You know, and I'm just going to tell people that you can do shit and you're going to figure out how to do it. It's that simple. Yeah. Yeah. And so when you see people out there that are just like, "Oh, you know, I've had so many people message me and go, I can't believe that you're disrespecting a man who is a fellow engineer and software developer." And I'm like, bitch, he hasn't developed software since he was like 12 years old. He didn't write the PayPal bullshit. He didn't write the code for the Tesla. He didn't write the code to land the rocket. Yeah. None of that shit. He wrote a shitty game called Blaster that ran in a fucking web browser that was like so slow that it was unplayable when he was like 12 years old, and it made it into a magazine because like no kids programmed back then, right? I can attest to that. But I'm not diminishing that. When for a 12-year-old, that was absolutely amazing. But he's not a coder. When people are like, "Oh, he's a coder and you know he's an engineer," it's like, no, he's not the guy that's down there like solving the problems. He's not sitting with all the smart people in the room and going, "Oh, but you overlooked the hypotenuse of the the square of the inverse law." And "Oh yeah, oh no," he's just sitting at the head of the table while everybody else is like, "This is what we did. This is what we did. Okay, is that good? Is that bad? Okay, it's good. Okay, I'll say it's good on TV. Oh, is that good or bad? Okay, I'll say that's good on Twitter." You know, that's his extent of these companies, because I'm sorry, you don't be the face of like 5, 6, 7, 12, 45 companies and claim that you're the best father in the world, that you spend so much time with your kids and have time to shit post like for 5 hours a day on Twitter and have time to go get like every woman pregnant that can spread her legs. I'm just saying the guy is not this genius that's working 24 hours a day to like get us to Mars. He's not. He's a dude that just tries to make moves to get as much money as humanly possible so that he can afford the child support for these 8 million kids. That's the real Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't see it. Yeah. And I can't really be mad because it's like, I was duped by him for a long time too.
Yeah.
So I don't
and it seemed that way.
What's that?
It seemed like he was the guy like doing the work, or at least helping do the work, Because of course you got to hire a bunch of engineers, so one person can't do it.
Yeah, well, he tried to do the work with Tesla. Like he was the one that was like, "Oh, let's use an existing car, a Lotus Elise. Let's take that chassis, let's just change a couple styling cues, throw a battery pack, a motor in it, and let's go." But then he learned really quick that brushed motors burn out, and that 2-speed transmissions with that much torque blow up. And so every single car, if you see a Tesla Roadster on the street today, it's been completely rebuilt soup to nuts. Like none of the original cars are still on the road. Like in their original form. Every single one of them has different transmissions, aftermarket tweaks. Some of them have their gearboxes completely retrofitted using the gearbox out of like a Model 3. It's the only way to get them back on the road because the brushed motors are destroyed. Like you have to replace the brushes like every 15,000 miles. It's like, okay, so go get in a regular car. What is that? 3 oil changes or 2 synthetic oil changes. And in a Roadster, you have to replace the engine or the brushes in the engine.
Ow.
It doesn't make sense. That's like, and it's not an easy task to do.
Space. Graham says that's why he said Windows Space. It was junk. Yeah,
it was junk. It was actually cheaper to send that than it would be to just put a lead block on there. Like they're like, oh, you do a lead block. He's like, oh, we save money just by sending my shitty Roadster up there that doesn't work. I mean, the thing probably didn't work anyways. I guarantee you it had a dead battery and no brushes in the motor. So, but he
tore everything out to keep weight.
Yeah, but the thing is, he killed Tesla. Like he killed him in the beginning. That Roadster was a failure. Man. Huge failure. It ran the company nearly into bankruptcy. What Elon is good at, though, is second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh chances. Elon Musk is really good at convincing groups of investors. It's like, no, it failed the first time. That was expected. Like we wanted to do that. Like that was exactly how it goes. I promise you, give me more money, we're going to do it. Then he puts it in a pile and he shows the investors and he's like, wow, look how much money he has. But they don't realize it's because he got money from all those investors. It's like the Ponzi.
It's almost, it feels like very Ponzi-ish.
It's very Ponzi-ish. And then what he does is then he puts out the Model S, but it's because he was smart. He actually went and hired somebody who's now the Lucid CEO to design the car, the Model S, which then revolutionized everything. But everybody's like, oh, Elon Musk designed that car. It's like, no, he didn't. He didn't design the styling. He didn't design the interior. He didn't write any of the software. He sat there and he just took the credit for it. And even the stats that he quoted didn't end up being the ending stats. He talks as if it was, but it never is. The Cybertruck, I guarantee you when the Cybertruck comes out, it's not going to be anywhere close to what he promised. I guarantee it's going to come out and it's going to be like, it's not going to be like, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. It's not going to be, it's not going to have bulletproof glass. He's just going to expect everybody to just forget about that. Like, and he'll explain it like, oh, well, we did the bulletproof glass. And, the photons off the sun were actually making it inefficient. So we decided to go back to regular borosilicate glass.
Surprise. That's a bonus. Like you have to pay an extra 10 grand for the unbreakable windows.
Yep. And so it's not going to be the same as like what was, I mean, it might look similar to it, but it's not going to be like what was promised. And it's going to end up costing more because he's been boosting the prices on stuff he said he wasn't going to boost the price on. And here's one of my big gripes.
Like the autopilot, wasn't that supposed to be just a feature? Like you're supposed to get that? It was supposed to be feature complete and done. Yeah, in 2019, it was supposed to be done, completely done. Like and he's not charging for it. Like what? I thought that was supposed to be.
It's $20,000 to get the feature on your car. Plus, you have to pay a monthly fee to have it. And if you are one of the beta testers, you have to pay that monthly fee. And if you're not a beta tester, they charge you that monthly fee. You just can't use it.
Jeez,
it's a big fucking ripoff. Because one of the YouTubers I watch, he bought the car and he was getting charged. I don't know how much it was a month, but it was a significant amount to use autopilot, and he couldn't use the autopilot because the car locked him out of it and said that he didn't meet the requirements for the autopilot beta. So he called him up and he said, can you guys refund me for the months that this has been charging because I don't have access to the feature? And they're like, no, we can disable that. We can't actually disable it on my side, but we can't refund you for the months that you had it. And he's like, but I couldn't use it. The months that I had it, it wasn't even, couldn't even enable it on the car. So I couldn't have used it even if I wanted to. And they're like, oh, we're sorry. It's your responsibility to call and cancel that service. It's like,
wow.
So you guys can build this car that you claim can drive itself, but you can't build like a fucking HTML5 page that understands that it can't sell you shit you can't use. Like that doesn't make any sense. And they do a lot of really shystery things like that, like the battery pack thing. Have you heard about that? So if you go buy a car from like a wrecking yard or something like that hasn't been, it doesn't even have to be totaled. You go buy a car and it's got a bad battery, it's out of warranty, and you go to Tesla, they'll sell you a battery, but they won't install it. So they'll sell you a battery, and then you have to go find somebody to install the battery. But any third-party person that installs the battery can't code it to the car.
Jeez.
Which means that it'll just throw errors up on the dashboard and only charge it to a certain percentage, and it won't allow it to supercharge. Yeah. So you have to like do some weird shit where you like connect into the CAN bus and you got to like hack it or pull a board off of another car at a wrecking yard that hasn't been deactivated from the network. There's like all this shit that these guys have to do to keep these old Teslas on the road, because Tesla doesn't want, it's a disposable car. Tesla doesn't want an out of warranty car on the road. They want all the out of warranty cars to be in a wrecking yard being recycled, and they want you to buy new ones, just like iPhone. Their business model is the exact same as iPhone. So all the money that you save on gasoline and all the money that you save on service throughout the life of your car, 10 years later, you're like, yes, I'm ahead, I'm doing good. And then you got to just drive the thing to the wrecking yard, basically, sell it for scrap, and then go buy another Tesla. And it's like, okay, well, at that point now it's not cost effective anymore. Huh. But yeah, but nobody knew about it because it's like everybody bought a car, right? It took 10 years for the warranty to run out. It was the longest warranty in like, automotive history. Mm-hmm. But once they started running out, everybody was like, ooh, this is not good. Gaming Matty Rocks, thank you for the $2. Said, have you guys heard about Tesla Home? I can't say that I have.
What is Tesla Home? Is that like the solar panels, battery and the solar panels?
Your Tesla Home. Oh, let's see here. Oh, Tesla tiny house? Huh. Oh, are they going to start manufacturing tiny houses now? God, could they? Okay. They can't even finish one product, and they just announced another. Like they're working on a robot now and a neural brain link interface.
This is a half container with a door, solar panels, and a Tesla battery on it.
That's all.
You're supposed to like, like this isn't even. I mean, I guess barely a tiny home. It's more like an office space. This is tiny.
Let's see how expensive it is.
It's not even a house. This is like a showroom price.
You're United States
for something like this. You're going to drop about $2,000 for a container, and then maybe another 10 to get it like cut up and set properly. Like this isn't even a house. There's no. It's like an office. It
won't even let me buy one. When I click on it, it just takes me to a page to select your location and doesn't let me go any further. Tesla house marketing page. Okay, I would like to buy one. Okay. I just want to buy one. How much is it?
You can't. It was just for showing off in Australia.
Oh, okay.
They were just rolling around like in a tiny house powered by 100% renewable energy. So they're charging the car that's towing the thing, while also like powering, or I guess it's not a car, it's the X or whatever, right? Yeah. The mini SUV of theirs. Yeah, that's all. I mean, neat, but that is like 200 square feet, and it's not a home because it just has like chairs.
Yeah, it's like you could literally just go buy a camper for cheaper than that and just slap a Tesla wall on it, right? I mean, there's nothing super special there at all.
Yeah.
Hey, Green Third Eye, thank you for that $20 tip. That is super generous of you. So just wait till governments figure out they can have these manufacturing geofences for your vehicle so they can restrict your free movement in the future. Oh, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing that you definitely do give up with electric cars is that they're so heavily reliant on their networks and being connected to the mothership that they can do anything. They can change the top speed of your car. They can change the torque of your car. They can giveth, they can taketh away. Everybody thinks of like the good stuff. Like, oh man, they're going to release a firmware update that gives my car 10 more foot-pounds of torque or something. That's awesome because they did some testing. And you're like, okay, yeah, that is cool. That is cool to get that. But then like 3 of the cars wreck or whatever. And they're like, okay, we're releasing a firmware update to take 20 horsepower away from your car because we found that in these conditions, it's losing traction. And then you're like, shit, but you gave it to me and I'm a responsible driver and I know how to use it. It's not my fault that other, idiots crashed their shit.
Or what if they decide to tie your top speed to the GPS that tells them what the speed limit is on the road?
Yep.
So you're on a 45 mile an hour road. You cannot go faster than 45 miles an hour.
Well, another thing is, have you seen all the Tesla Plaid crashes? So when it first came out, I was like, how in the hell are these things not just wrecking all over the place? Because, I mean, it's a car that goes 0 to 60 in, 2.1 seconds or something like that. Fastest accelerator. It's faster than a Bugatti Veyron, like 0 to 60. And has a top speed of, like, I think it's like 180 miles an hour, 160, 180 miles an hour. And it gets there in a hurry. It can almost get to its full speed in, like, a little over a quarter mile.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, you go look and it's like, I don't know why this isn't like an international news, but these things are wrecked all over the place. Like, wow. I mean, it's seriously, like, just go do a search, like bring up Bing, bring up Google, do a search for Tesla Plaid crashes. They're absolutely everywhere. Go to YouTube, Tesla Plaid crashes. These things are going off the road fucking everywhere. And I mean, it's bad too, like on tracks where they're flipped upside down and into the tire wall and stuff because their entry speed is so much higher than the race cars on the track, but it doesn't have the brakes. It's severely underbraked. Everybody that's reviewed the Plaid said, do not drive this on a racetrack, because if you use the brakes more than a couple of times, because normally it uses the engine to brake, right? It uses the motor to brake.
Oh, sure,
to recharge the batteries. But when you're racing on a track and you're going into a corner with 5,000 pounds of weight and you're hard on the brakes, the physical brakes have to work hard in addition to charging the battery.
Wow.
So the brakes just cook off the thing, and then you basically just have brake fade going into every corner. And so people are just like going in at like insane corner speeds and flipping off the track because their brakes just boil. And so they didn't think it needed brakes because they're like, oh, it'll stop the car using the electric motors combined with the brakes like really good, but it'll only do it every once in a while. I can't do it continuously.
Yeesh.
And so
scary, man.
Yeah, did you hear about when they shipped the cars without the brakes? No brake pads?
I heard some of that. Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah, one of the dealerships sold like a dozen cars or something, and somebody was like, oh, it's making this mad squeaking sound when I brake really hard. And the other people didn't notice because they were braking normally. This guy like brake checked and luckily got the car to come to a stop. And he basically just took the cylinders that push the pads and just rammed them into the disc. And he was stopping on the metal from the caliper. And it made this horrendous noise and like ripped up the calipers. And they took him back. They're like, dude, you don't have any brake pads in here. So they recalled the cars from that location that were shipped there. None of them had brake pads. None of them. So they literally sold cars to customers that had no brakes, no brake pads in them. So all those people that were driving around for that period of time were just braking on the motor, the engine braking, or the motor regenerative braking. If they had exceeded that regenerative braking, which actually isn't hard to do in a 5,000 pound car, because it can only,
I wouldn't think so.
Up to so much, it has to dump the rest. If you use it, then it has to move to those physical brakes. And it just so happened that the other people that were driving it, and these are Plaids, a lot of these were Plaids. So if you had been doing 160 miles an hour and grenaded the brakes on this thing to try to come to a stop before you went to the end of the track, you would have gone right into the fucking wall and died.
Wow.
And it's just a miracle that nobody did. The ones that bought from that dealership didn't go to a drag strip, or they would have completely destroyed the car. It's like, you can't make mistakes like that in this business. You can't. Somebody has to check that shit. Like, how did it get out of quality control? How did it make it to the end of the assembly line onto a truck and shipped, and nobody tested the physical brakes? Like,
enough people don't care. Like, fuck working at this place, man. I'd probably put in 18 hours already, and now they're gonna be looking at these stupid ass brakes.
Here's the thing.
Stamp. Everybody's fine. Get out of here.
Well, in a real car factory, when the car comes out, they do a test on a track. They go do like 1 or 2 laps of a track to make sure cooling system's working, braking system's working, acceleration, engine's running smooth. They do that. And then a lot of it, they'll do it on a dyno. They'll have a dyno in the assembly line where they like strap the car down, make sure it goes through all the gears, make sure that it can brake. They didn't do any of that. At Tesla, they just take like a computer. It's just, it's off the assembly line. Our little tester says safe, but we don't have a module to check if there's a brake pad installed. So it's like, so it passes all the checks and it just goes out, and nobody ever gets in it and actually goes and test drives the damn thing. And it's like, no, every single car you build, somebody should take out and test drive under the most extreme conditions that a driver will ever see as a part of the break-in for that vehicle.
Right.
They don't. Ass, brother. Hey, Eric G, thank you for the $10 super chat. He said, hey guys, how's it going? It's going, brother.
It is.
He said, I'm going to be lurking a while I drive. That was supposed to be the original text to answer your question. I go out about 1.5 to 2 weeks, and then I'm home for a few days. Okay, so that's
pretty. I would say that's pretty long. Yeah.
That's pretty long haul for sure. They get paid pretty well, though. He said he gets paid like 40 some cents an hour, I think is what he's, or sorry, 40 cents an hour, a mile. 40 cents a mile, and that's on top of like, I think they cover like his fuel, and I don't know if they cover his maintenance and stuff, but I know they cover the fuel. That's cool. So every mile he drives, and in your long haul, so you're driving thousands of miles, right? So it's like you drive a truck through the night. It's like you choose to just go straight through and drive it and then sleep afterwards. You can make some money.
No, you're not allowed to do more than like 8 or 10 hours. They're super strict about that.
They'd know too, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because you're supposed to keep logs. Yeah, and you're supposed to keep logs and stuff. And like you can only go so far in X amount of time. So if you're logging like extra distance that doesn't make sense and stuff, yeah.
Eric, what's the longest distance that you can drive in a day? Like legally.
Oh shit. I bet. Well, let's see.
Because I'm kind of curious.
Call it 60. Average of 60 miles an hour. You're
because I've seen team drivers
600 miles, 6 to 800 miles.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I've seen the team drivers where they'll just
pretty
drive
far
24/7. Like they'll just switch drivers.
Oh right? Yeah. If you're tandem
versus driving,
sure.
So if you're doing that, I'd imagine that you can probably drive for, but I doubt it's just 8 hours a day. I'd imagine that they can drive for probably like 10 or 12 hours a day, as long as they have like an 8-hour period of downtime to sleep.
There may be some funny rules like that. Yeah. Where like you can go longer as long as you have a longer break. Yeah. Eric G says 11 hours. Okay.
That's a decent amount. So
it's 60,
1,100 miles.
That's pretty good.
Over 1,000 miles. So if you're talking 50 cents a mile, I mean, that's $500, right? We make $500 in a trip. That's pretty damn good. Yeah. In a day. That's not bad at all. That's good money.
I'd do that. I'd live stream while I was doing it too.
Dude, I would. Actually, you know what, Eric? You should do that, man.
Be careful. Your company might. Commercial driving has all kind of rules and regulations. He might get a finger wagging for that. Distracted driving and stuff.
Just wear a mask.
Because like some of those streams are interesting. There for a while there was like there's like a garbage truck.
I know exactly
in New Jersey or something.
I knew you were gonna say him. I used to watch him all the time and he disappeared.
Awesome. He probably got in trouble. He's not supposed to be goofing off.
That was the dude that was like grabbing shit out of dumpsters too. Like, oh man, I found a Atari. Look at this, dude. And he's like throwing his front seat. Dude, that was awesome. And then he go home and like spread it all out on the table outside of his garage and like show his shit that he found.
It was neat.
That was a great channel.
Google taco discs. The distance and speed are automatically kept. I think I know what you're talking about. It's a little doodad that hangs off of off the hub of the wheels, right? On one of the wheels, and it's like it like is click 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 click. It counts up your distance and stuff. I think that might be. I'll have to Google it to be sure. I'm totally guessing. I haven't Googled it.
So is somebody actively checking that to make sure that you're not like cheating and driving too long? Or something?
Probably. Like they know you can they know you can only go so far in an X amount of time within a certain wiggle room.
Just tell them your speed.
So yeah, if that doesn't match, well then if you go too fast, you're wasting gas.
Yeah, bro, I was doing 120 miles an hour the whole way here. I know, especially in a non-aerodynamic rig like that, right? It's just pushing a wall of air.
It's a paper disc recorded to the dash. Oh, okay, something else then. Okay, he says the average is 70 miles an hour. That's amazing. Yeah, that's got to be out in the middle of nowhere, kind of hauling ass stuff.
That's where I'd want. If I was a long haul trucker, I mean, that's what I'd rather be that than like a regional trucker, because I'd rather be out on the highway where there's not a ton of traffic most of the time at night, just blast it, right? Cruising. Turn on the music and have a good time. I would absolutely want to kill myself though, having to be a trucker in like a rural area, driving through like towns and cities, through the roads and stop signs and all that stuff, like a bunch. I know you have to at the beginning and end of the trip, but if it was one of those things where it's like you have to go way off of the freeway, way back to deliver something, oh man, that would suck. Like I would definitely at that point not want a manual transmission. I'd want one of those trucks that's just like, an automatic. You just push the button and go. Oh man. Oh, it's funny. The dashboard now pops up and says, "Oh, this is a good time to insert an ad." I think this is for the recorded show if somebody watches it back. So let's see if this works. You guys comment down below if you see an ad, if you're watching the VOD of this afterwards, right here.
Yeah, with the timestamp or something. I don't know.
There we go. Yeah, I want to know if they see an ad there, because I'm wondering if it's actually just chunking it into the replay. Hey, sir, can you take the con for a second? I got to run downstairs and vacate some of this coffee, and I will be right back.
Right on. My Trick electronic logs are connected to Trick's computer systems. It knows all the parameters. Yeah, that makes sense. I do 70 on I-5 all the time. When there's nobody else in the way, I would too. So what is up? We got I forgot. We got some topics, I guess. We'll get to those. What are we doing? How's everything? Let me scroll back on here. Artmost Truck GPS. Yeah, probably. I use Twitter to share my Deviant art and SoundCloud uploads. That's good. That's a good spot for it. Let's see. I would say also Instagram, though, for both of those types of content. You probably do a little better. Just saw an ad. I don't know. That's probably not the one he rolled. I just bought a old broken Game Gear. Oh, nice. Repairing it. That'll be cool. That's on ad right now. Oh, maybe he did push an ad out to everybody. Interesting. Man, I got my tater salad. I got some chicky wings. Found out Lenovo and Microsoft make secure boot Windows only by default. You can do it with DAM. We just found out on the new ThinkPad Z13. Huh. What's in my potato salad? I tend to lean more German inspired. So it's funny you ask. Because I was just thinking after I made this particular batch of the ratio, and I think what I've landed on, and what I think I will test in the future, a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise to a a full cup of mustard, like just yellow mustard. And then I'm liberal, but like it's sort of to taste. Oh, with a bit of I would say probably close to a quarter cup of pickle juice. I use deviled eggs, or not deviled eggs, but hard-boiled eggs, pickles, onion. This one I did green onions, but sometimes I'll do like red onion or something. In the past, like my mom has done celery. My current group of taste buds don't like celery at all. Garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. Yeah, that's about it. And then at the end, like for myself, I love a lot of black pepper. I'll do a lot of black pepper. I don't do that for the whole batch though, because some people aren't into that. Try smoked paprika next time. That's a good idea.
You guys talking food?
What is German potato salad? So it's kind of like how barbecue sauce is, right? Okay. You have different regions in the United States for barbecue sauce. You have like Carolina style, Texas, different types, right? And it really basically comes down to, as for barbecue sauce, it's either ketchup as your main base or vinegar as your main base. Okay, so that gives a little bit of context. Tater salad is a similar sort of thing. German potato salad is very mustard heavy and generally served warm. I don't like serving my potato salad warm. I like my potato salad cold, but the ingredients I lean heavier more toward the mustard based German style potato salads, where like it's probably a British thing or American thing, where a lot of potato salads will just lean heavy on just mayonnaise. Not a fan. I'm not a fan of mayonnaise in general, really. But yeah, those tend to be the two types of potato salad that you'll come across. Some weirdos, man, I don't know where this comes from, but you'll see some weirdos out there heavy on the mayonnaise, and they'll put raisins.
Gross.
They put raisins in their potato salad. Like,
I love raisins, but not with potato salad. That'd be gross.
That's so weird. Like we're not doing an ambrosia here, right?
My wife makes mean tater salad and mean macaroni salad.
There are very few mac salads that I'm into because of that heavy mayonnaise tends to be. But L&L Hawaiian barbecue makes a great mac salad.
See, I like mayonnaise. I like mayonnaise. So I don't think you can overdo mayonnaise with me. I mean, that's not a challenge, Miss Barnacules, because I know she's in the chat, but I do like me some mayonnaise. Let's see here. What do we got?
Let's see. MP said, I'm Austrian, German borders 50 kilometers. Oh, Rolf, there's a disgusting. I think, was that a quote or something? What is German potato salad? Rolf, there's a disgusting mayo one and the one with beef soup, pickles, and red onions. Beef soup. That's interesting. I don't think
I've ever had beef soup.
Or like a beef stock or something, like for the liquid part. So like, interesting.
I'd eat beef soup.
I'll have to look into that.
Isn't kind of stew like beef soup?
Well, sure. I think though it meant more of a broth, not necessarily a full on soup, but like more of a beef broth.
Yeah, I can't eat that much beef anymore because of my stupid gout.
Miracle Whip. Do not come to me with Miracle Whip. That is super weird, and I don't know the tangy zip my ass. Pardon my French, but that stuff is whack.
You get that fake shit out of here.
That is weird stuff. Miracle Whip. I don't know where that stuff comes from. Dash of mayo when making a cup of soup or a thing of top ramen. Schnucks make some good mac potato salad.
I had a cup of noodles for breakfast.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I didn't get the fancy breakfast that you did, so I think your gal one up me this morning.
It's creamy. Oh, makes it creamy. Sure, I can see. I can see that in the same way that you would do like a blop of sour cream in your chili or something. Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, Miss Barnacules, because she is listening right now, and I don't want to sleep on the couch. She would literally make me anything. Like she always asks me what I want for breakfast. I could literally say like I want a cheese omelet with like lobster thermidor on it. So she'd make that shit happen. Like she is. But I don't like I don't like burdening her, so I'm just like I'll just take a cup of noodle.
Interesting.
Yeah, she said I choose that. I knew. I had to correct that because I knew she was going to come in and be like, "Wait a second, you chose that. Like that's not what I gave you. You chose that." Hey, Nate Paul, thank you for the $12
thanks,
super chat.
Man. Yeah, dude, 10 pounds actually.
Yeah,
I know it
dude,
translates for the announcement, but yeah, I saw you say this before, so thank you for paying, or part of it at least. He says I've been really getting into e-repair. He had a Game Gear. He's fixing up a Game Gear.
I have a Game Gear too.
Cool. I think electrical engineering should be mandatory in school. Now everything is electrical. Discuss. I don't think it's necessary. I think a basic understanding of how electronics work is important. I don't think full on like soldering gun fix it stuff. I don't think.
As a matter of fact, I think that's a less useful skill today than it was even before.
Yeah. But a better understanding of how electronics work. Absolutely. It blows my mind. I think it would just help people understand some of their frustrations with technology a lot more if they understood like what's kind of going on under the hood better. Because like every once in a while, I have to like, even for my own self, I have to remember this fucking tricorder, this science fiction box has got to like talk to space and back. I know that's not technically how it works. It's generally land-based and cables and stuff, but still the concept is similar. I'm talking to the moon and back, you know, in a sense.
Yeah.
And so like, look, sometimes weird shit's going to happen. This is magic. Okay. Magic is happening. And sometimes magic doesn't work the way we expect. And that's okay. Because you know what? I can call somebody who's literally on the other side of the planet and see them in real time with next to no delay. We're talking like milliseconds of delay. And that's amazing. So you know what? I'll cut some slack sometimes when it takes more than 5 seconds for Twitter to load.
I think the problem with e-repair today, like versus e-repair 20 years ago, is 20 years ago, it's like if you had basic tools like a soldering iron, a screwdriver, some solder, maybe a solder wick, like things that were readily available at the Radio Shack, right? You could fix just about anything around your house. Nowadays, that isn't the case because of the microprocessor. Everything is microprocessors now. Everything has heat sinks that are embedded and epoxied to it and sludge thrown all over everything. And traces are so small now that you couldn't solder them even if you had like a jeweler's loop. And so now you need specialized equipment to repair 99% of the electronics that are created today. And it's so bad now that like vacuum cleaners have like the Dyson vacuum cleaner has a complicated circuit inside of it that drives that digital motor that you can't just feed the digital motor voltage. You have to actually like encode it and send it to the motor, and the motor decodes and uses it. But you can't just pull that motor out and use it for something else, and you can't just replace the motor with another motor. It's all encoded together. So they're basically at that point disposable devices because there's no method given to you by the company to encode it for a new motor. And if you pull a motor out of one and put it into another one, it doesn't match the encoding, so it rejects it and throws an error code. So it's really difficult. Like the biggest explanation of this was John Deere tractors. And I know Ox is on board with this one. And that is John Deere tractors are assholes.
Fuckers.
These guys at John Deere have encoded every single part on their modern tractors and have for about the last 10 years. And it is so bad now that you can't even change a goddamn tire on a tractor without having to put it on a trailer, haul it to a dealership, and pay them a code to hook a computer up to it and say, oh, you installed this correctly. We're going to go ahead and authorize it and code it to your vehicle. And so if you have 3 tractors and one breaks and you need to just take a single part off it and put it on another tractor because it's a lot easier than taking off the whole rig, you can't do it.
And they got into, at least with the community or the public, got into a lot of heat over it because they can remotely shut your tractor down.
And they detect like a slight overheat on the motor or something like that. Yep.
You can't run your tractor anymore. You got to bring it back, and there's no, you have to take it to them to get it repaired. And they had come out as like an official statement that they weren't going to do that kind of shit. Like they're, you know, and I guess maybe something changed in the leadership. I'll leave that as an exercise for the class. But something happened. They changed, and I would not buy anything from John Deere that's probably older than 1995.
Yeah, there's a whole aftermarket now that's like making like defeat devices and programming devices for John Deere stuff just to put them in their fucking place. And I welcome it. Like I hope every John Deere owner goes and buys these illicit devices because John Deere's trying to find them and sue them. But a lot of this is just open source projects and stuff like that. Yeah. But defeat the systems because it's bullshit. And the thing is, like, I understand I understand if it's like an ECU. Like if it's an ECU and it's something's broken inside of it and it's damaging other things on the vehicle and you can't replace it because you can't repair it because it's a sealed system with tiny traces and it's just intrinsic. It's built to not be repaired, which it shouldn't be in the first place, but it is. Then fine, have it throw an error code. Oh, go to replace the ECU, throw a new one in there, you're done. But they're going way beyond that. Like I even think I saw a video where it's like the dude said I couldn't even change spark plugs because as soon as he disconnects the coil pack from the spark plug and it interrupts like a circuit or the resistance, it basically will shut down that coil pack and say that it needs to be reactivated once it's confirmed working properly. So you have to, and then and like you said, you can't have a John Deere representative come out to your farm. You have to load your tractor on a lowboy, burn all that gas to go to your local John Deere, authorized distributor, and they got to come out and hook up a little computer and just basically push a code to clear it, start the tractor. If it starts, they're like, okay, we cleared your codes, you're good. It's like your check engine light comes on because the water sloshed too much and they just kill it and you have to go put it on a trailer, drag it back. Okay, it's good. Now you can restart it. And it's like John Deere's like, oh, we're doing this like protect the tractors because we know that people depend on them. It's like, yeah, but the old tractors, they could just duct tape shit. Like if the block broke, they put JB Weld on it. It's like you had to get shit done. And it's like, how do you miss that when you're like you're like one of the OG tractor salesmen and you should know your customer better than anybody. And it's like these are you sell to a bunch of really ingenuitive rednecks that could literally like rope an engine together and keep it going with like one cylinder, and you're going to take that away from them when if they don't pull in the harvest, they aren't going to have the money to pay you to fix their tractor. It's just a really stupid business model. It's so, but that, honest fact, that's one of the big talking points Louis Rossmann uses for his right to repair rants is John Deere and One Wheel are slowly moving to the top.
Yeah, man, that's too bad about the One Wheel stuff too. Like that seemed like something that would be super modular or at least like easy enough to fix like on your own where I'll just buy a new tire or something from them and plug it in. And I've heard some grumblings about difficulty of repair or even just receiving parts and things like that. Yeah,
you can't get extra parts. Like if your motor dies or whatever, they won't just replace it. You have to get a whole new One Wheel. They basically treat it as a whole. You can't just change out the battery. If you change out the battery, it bricks it. You have to actually take it in and get them to encode it to their battery. But here's the thing: they claim they do this to protect the end user. Like, oh, we want to make sure that it doesn't catch on fire. We want to make sure that you're using qualified parts. But even if you got qualified parts, it won't let you do it. So you have to send it to them, and there's only one place in the world that can fix it. So you have to wait a long time and pay a lot of shipping to get your One Wheel fixed. And then they're like, oh, it's for safety reasons. You know how many fucking people die and get like critically injured on One Wheels? They just shut down all the time. Go look at YouTube. There's videos all the time. People are just fucking flying across like a pavement, and the thing just nosedives and launches them because the battery comes attached. A guy did a video where he opened up a brand new one out of box, brand spanking new. Opened it up, and the cable on the sheathing was already getting eaten away by the motor because where they routed the wire, it literally was touching the windings on the motor, and the motor was turning and just ripping the shielding off. So eventually, it would have shorted to the motor and set the battery on fire. And it's like, wow, like you guys aren't even doing quality. You claim that you're about safety and quality control, but you guys aren't even checking these units to make sure that everybody putting them together on the assembly line is doing it the right way. You don't have, because somebody at the end should have been like, ooh, why is this one got wires routed differently than every other one I've looked at? But they don't. They act like they do, but they don't. They want the money from the repairs. They want the money for you having to keep coming back to them for what they consider consumables.
Yeah, it's not even software as a service or anything. It's like a product as a service now.
Yeah, so
you have to keep paying. Basically,
how do you put a tire on it? How do you even put a tire on it? Because you have to unplug the battery, because you have to pull out the motor assembly. So you break the circuit, and if you break the circuit anywhere, it automatically throws a code and will not turn back on unless they clear it.
So weird.
And they can't do it remotely either. So if you're riding your One Wheel and you hit the ground too hard or something, and the connector comes undone inside for the battery just comes unplugged. And even if it just comes unplugged for a second, it loses current for even a second and connects back up. The battery goes into an error mode that you have to send back to them, and they have to basically inspect the wiring and then clear the air for you to ride it again. It's like, what other device do you own where if you unplug the battery and plug it back in, the device doesn't work unless somebody, like you mail it to somebody? That doesn't make any fucking sense, and it's heavy and it's big. So that's going to cost a lot of money to ship back to One Wheel. Jeez. I watched this one dude who does e-bike reviews over in the UK. They are cool.
Sad, man. I want, or something like it at least.
Yeah, they are cool. Really cool. I rode one, like one of the first generation ones, long time ago at Maker Faire. We're talking like even before they were like production, and I thought it was like the coolest shit ever. Like the way that it does, and it's way better now. Like it's way better than when it first came out. Like it just balances itself. You stand up, people are like, "Oh, how do you balance on that?" No, it balances you. that torquey motor will make you level. Like if you stand on it, you feel like you're standing on something that is supported from both sides, even though it isn't. It's a really neat party trick. So they're cool. They're really cool, and they're smooth. They're really smooth. It literally feels like you're just floating on air. Like it's probably the closest thing to like a Marty McFly hoverboard, right?
Cool, yeah.
And so they're cool. So I hate that the company does shit like this. Especially when they have a product that like nobody else really has come close. Other people have tried to create their product. Their software is so much better. Like their software is where it's at. It's not the hardware, it's the software that makes their device special. Yeah. But it just blows my mind that they treat customers that way. Like this guy in the UK I was watching, he said he received it. It was having errors out of the box, so he tried to fix it himself. He opened it up, he unplugged some wires and plugged them back in. Then it gave a new error, and then he called him up and he said, "Hey, can you guys like, can I send the motor back to you or something? Because there's like some error with the motor, I think." And they're like, "No, you have to send the whole unit back." And he's like, "But it's Australia." He's like, "Oh, but I'm in Australia." No, New Zealand, either New Zealand or Australia. It's really expensive because I remember him saying shipping was almost $200. So he's like, okay, for me to ship it back to you is gonna be $200 for you to like check some wires, fix it, and send it back to me. That's not economical. Like I can't do that every time this thing breaks or every time it needs like a new tire or every time it needs a new battery or something. I got to pay $200 to ship. And I don't even know. They might even charge him to ship it back to him if it's out of warranty. So that might be $200 each way. It might be $400 round trip. And it's like, that's just not economical. And he's like, I already bought the thing. And with all the import duties and taxes and everything, he said it was like $2,500 for a one wheel. And it's like it doesn't make sense unless you're like a fucking YouTuber that can get your return on your investment. The average user isn't going to do that.
Yeah, right.
So, and he said they have no repair facilities anywhere in Australia or New Zealand where he can take his one wheel and get it repaired. It has to be shipped back to California in the United States. So it's like, fuck that. Man. Hey, Jogel, thank you for the $20 super chat. He said soldering is critical skill for DIY electronics and the fumes smell good. Yeah, make sure you use leaded solder. That's the best.
It's really neat, man. I love watching like these TikToks of guys. He's like, "Oh, I got this phone in for repair," and like you plug it in and nothing's happening. So it's like, "Oh, take my thermal camera and like we got it plugged in. Oh, see this spot here is wicked hot," but he's like, "This isn't quite right because like these things all seem fine." So you zoom in with the special camera and he's like, "Oh, it's this tiny ass little fucking chip. It's like this big." He's like, "Oh, it's like some battery management chip or something." He's like, "No problem." And so he heats the thing up and he pops the thing right off, and he's like, "Oh, I got a bunch of these same little chippy things," and he goes boop boop, and it fixes it, works right, easy peasy. I'm like, that kind of stuff blows my mind, but that is like expensive shit to be able to figure that out, to be able to do those sorts of. It looks real easy, but man, there's got to be like $5,000 worth of equipment to figure it out, and then whatever, like you got to be trained for that stuff too.
Yeah, and the tools. You got to have like the microscope with the camera, and you got to have like the little things of flux that they use or whatever, so that it floats the solder over the joints and doesn't do a dead short between two pins.
It's crazy.
It's magical.
Minuscule, man. It's cool though.
I used to watch Louis Rossmann videos all the time, like back when he was less about like the right to repair and the social justice warrior. Louis, I love Louis Rossmann though. It's like he's an acquired taste, but I love his old videos.
$400? Huh. What? Oh, just some guys in chat are like, it's not really that bad. He's like, not Lucid Enemy. He's like, I do it with like $300 to $400 worth of hardware. That's not bad. That's not bad. You can make your money back pretty quick fixing broken shit that way, like pretty fast. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a video on YouTube right now of a guy making fun of Apple's mobile repair kit. Did you see that?
Oh, no, but I'm not surprised.
So if you want to change out the screen on your phone or the battery on your phone by yourself, Apple will, for like, I think it's like $150, they'll ship you a mobile repair kit. So then that shows up at your house and it's like these giant devices and like, like it looks like crates that you'd send to like a musician's like audition. And you open the stuff up, you get all the devices out and it's like step by step by step. And it takes forever. And for each of these devices to do the step. And then you're like, but then he shows after he used it, he's like, "Oh, how long would it take me to do this repair with just like a suction cup, blow dryer, a little plastic like scraper deal from the iFixit toolkit?" Because I think he was advertising iFixit. He's like a little scraper, and he actually got the phone open, replaced the screen and the battery on it again in like 1/10 of the time it took with the authorized tools, and he didn't have to mail anything back. And all the tools I think cost him a combined total of like $20.
That's silly.
That's just Apple just being Apple, right? Apple's like, okay, well, we're gonna make this really, really difficult, so we can mock you, and everybody will be like, oh, maybe right for repair is a bad thing after all, because look at all this shit you have to have. But it's just completely theater, right? It's like you don't have to have any of that shit. And he even said when he took the phone apart, he's like the machine that they sent him for like heating the screen to loosen the adhesive so you could pull it off. He said that thing didn't work for shit. He had to run it through like several cycles. But when he just heated it up with the blow dryer and ran the thing, he's like, I don't care. The screen's already broken. I'm replacing it. Like, I'm not trying to preserve my broke ass cracked screen.
Right.
So he doesn't care if he shatters it or breaks it. So he just heats it up with a blow dryer and then just takes the thing, goes scoops it, and just rips it off, and it's like, it's fine.
Right. Yeah.
It's going in the garbage either way.
I think iFixit's got the right idea, man. Like, they got those little pads that you pop in a microwave to warm up the glue and stuff, and it's pretty cool.
So hold on here. So Stealth said the repair kit is optional. Then why is it when Snazzy Labs did it, he had to actually call in and confirm that he rented and used the kit to install the screen before they'd activate his device?
Jeez.
Because when you install a new screen, it doesn't just work. You have to it disables a bunch of shit on the phone, and then you have to call a phone number and say, hey, Apple, this is the order number of the repair kit that I used, and then they ask you like, oh, is the battery properly installed? Did it pass the test? And you're like, yes, and then they're like, go on their computer, and then they activate it, and then your phone starts working again. It was really stupid. Go watch Snazzy Labs video. It's pretty laughable. So if the repair kit is optional, then I'd like to know what the process is to get the damn phone functionality back. When you call them on the phone and they're like, oh, okay, I installed a new screen. Well, did you use our kit to do that install? No, I didn't. I just installed it myself. Okay, well, we're just going to go ahead and activate that for you. Why would anybody use the kit? Like that seems like it defeats the whole process, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, Lewis said it was optional?
Well, what does he know? Who's this? Who's this guy?
Ross,
who's this guy? He doesn't know
what the fuck he's talking about. That guy's never even opened a phone. I guess a fucking Android user. Lewis fucking Rossman.
This fucking guy. Who knows?
I do like his setup.
Sounds made up. Sounds made up.
There's also another guy I watched that just fixes consoles. Have you seen that dude?
Right on.
All he does is fix like PlayStation 3s, 4, 5s, Xbox Series like 1s and 3 down to 360s, like Series 1X, 1 360. Like, I don't know, their naming conventions are fucked up at Microsoft.
Right.
But he has some pretty cool tools he uses. Like he has this thing called a reflow machine. It's an infrared reflow machine where he basically takes the circuit board out of the Xbox and he sets it on there and it heats up the solder across the entire board. And it has like a template, so it like heats different areas more and different areas less. Like based on
fancy pants.
Yeah, it's like a panini oven for circuit boards. And then once it heats up, it reflows all the solder. So if there's any cracks in the solder, like the Xboxes are notorious for they use the shitty solder that gets cracks in it over time.
Okay.
So it just basically half the time to fix these things, he just reflows the board, reinstalls it back into the console, and everything just works. Like that's 50% of the time. So he buys all these broken units and just restores them and then fixes them. And for the red ring of death or whatever, he can fix that. And then the ones that he has to fix, like broken HDMI ports and shit like that, he goes through the whole process of how he just uses like a soldering iron and a desoldering wick thing. And he goes through and like undoes each pin on the HDMI. He cleans up the board. He scrubs it with like this alcohol shit. And then, once he's got it all cleaned up, everything, his little vacuum thing, he runs over it. Then he runs like the new HDMI port that he just gets out of a bag that he just buys from China. He throws it on there, bends the two little pins over, solders them all to the pads with flux or whatever, cleans it all up, scrubs it with a little brush, and it's done. And he installs it back in the machine. It works. You have to have the patience of a saint, though, because I watched one video. I think it was like he makes long videos. Like one of them was like an hour and a half long, him trying to fix this dumpster Xbox 360 with like a super corroded motherboard. And he takes the motherboard out of this thing probably 5 times. Because every time you have to put everything back together to test it, because the board won't post and work without you plugging everything back into it. And so he didn't have a test rig. He usually has a test rig for everything else, but he didn't have a test rig for this one. So he had to like basically put it together 90%, test it, take it apart, put it together 90%, test it. Like each time he's taking it apart, it takes probably five plus minutes to get it all torn down and 5 more minutes to put it back together. I was like, dude, I would go nuts. I would just throw that shit in the garbage. And he's like, yeah, it's not worth it financially to take this long. But he's like, I wanted to make an interesting video. So I was like, that's kind of cool. Can you find out who that is? When I run across his channel again, I'll just tweet it because it's really freaking cool. Like this dude, and he has piles of consoles. Like you can tell this guy fixes a lot of consoles, and he does customers' consoles on stream. Like you can pay him to fix your console and request a video. And I don't know if he charges more or if he gives you a deal if you let him use your video, your console, but he'll repair your console and like talk about it, what he's doing and everything right there on stream. And he said he records all of his console repairs, even the ones he doesn't upload, so that if a customer tries to say, oh, you broke this or you broke this, he's got the video showing that he didn't. So, because apparently that happens quite a bit in that business. He's like, you'd be surprised. Like, people send you an Xbox. He's like, you'll fix it and they'll be working like new, and you'll mail it back to them. They'll be like, oh man, you broke the front plate or something, because they took it out of the box and dropped it on the floor and broke it, or it got ripped off. The power cord got reefed and it broke the power cord connector on the console. And they're like, oh, you broke that. Is it Tronic's fix?
Or Vultar?
Man, there's a bunch of guys doing this. I'll know immediately. He's a British guy. Tronic's Fix. No, not that. No, I do watch this guy though. Tronic's Fix is cool. But that's not who I was talking about. The guy I'm talking about, he's like in a shed. he's literally in a shed. Yep, that's it. The coder. Yep, that's him. Yeah. So it's the coder with a 3. So here, I'll put it down here. Wow, it's funny how you can just like describe something like that, and some people can just narrow you down to a YouTube channel like that.
I love fucking crowdsourced intelligence like that. It's super fun.
Yeah, it's oh man, it's powerful. So like when you think about it, when AI starts getting it right, it's like Google just goes to the next level, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, the coder. This is the guy I was talking about, who he does like tiny component repairs. Just like you were talking about, where he pulls off like a little fucking capacitor that's like you can fit 20 of them on your finger on your fingernail. And he'll get down there with like tweezers and shit and like flow it into place, and with a magnifying glass on it, and like use a tiny little plastic tool to like maneuver it into place and everything, and then make sure that it doesn't have any contact with other pins. It's pretty intricate work. Like, you have to have the patience of a saint to do this shit, honestly. But highly recommend his channel. A lot of fun to watch. He only has like 56,000 subscribers too. He's a relatively small channel and the thing is, like, his videos, some of his videos get quite a few views, but like his videos that he just makes, like his daily videos that he makes, only get like maybe 20-30,000 views throughout the whole thing, and they're really good.
Huh.
Like he's entertaining. He has a good presence too. Like the way he talks about shit and everything, it holds on to your attention. And that's like what the most important thing is when you're making content, is can you hold somebody's attention?
Yeah.
That's just cool. Like we do with you guys every week.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Elon Musk.
This is weird.
Let's talk about Elon Musk making all this fuss about buying Twitter, and I'm going to buy Twitter, and they're not going to stop me. I'm going to buy Twitter. They can't stop me. Twitter's like, oh, hey, we'll give you all the data. You can check it out first before you buy it. And he's like, nah, I waived that right. I don't need that. I know what I'm buying. I know about the bot problem. Just sell it to me. I'm going to buy it. Hey, everybody, I'm buying Twitter. And then he sells the shares to go buy Twitter. The Tesla stock crashes. He panics, and he's like, I don't want to buy Twitter anymore. He doesn't say that though. He just publicly starts going, oh, what about the bot problem? And he's like, I'm not going to buy it because there's a bigger bot problem than I thought there was. Well, he waived his due diligence in the purchase agreement to inspect that. He said, I will buy it as is. Is basically what he said. And he even said that through that process where he was slowing it down and intentionally making it drag out, he kept saying, oh, I'm serious about it. I do actually want to buy Twitter, and I'm going to see this through. And then he just announced the other day, he's like, I'm not buying Twitter. And then the Tesla stock rallies and the Twitter stock crashes. It's like, you motherfucker. Like, he is such a little lying bitch.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's the best way I can put it. He's just a liar.
He was never going to buy it.
No, I don't think he was.
He was never going to buy it. It was the 420, price point or whatever it was. It was what was it? 5220,
50 some, yeah,
right, something like that. It was never going to go through.
Yep,
ever. Like
Twitter even offered to give him everything he asked for too. Every time he asked for something ridiculous, they were like, "Here, have it."
And like at this point, that's kind of he said, she said, right? Like Elon says, "Oh, they're not giving me all the information I want." Twitter says, "Yes, they are. Yes, we are." And like somebody, I don't know. I came across something on Facebook earlier. Somebody had posted a link. It's an SEC document from like Elon's lawyers or whoever lawyer group that's representing him during this deal. Big list of complaints about how Twitter's not cooperating and blah 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 blah.
No way.
It was just yesterday, or at least the date on the document was yesterday. And it's like it right. Like it feels like it's just he said she said right now. I think Twitter's in a stronger position because I don't know exactly. I'm not enough of a businessy person to know about the due diligence thing, but it sounds to me.
I looked it up. I read the law last night because we were having a fight on Twitter between.
It's like noob. Basically, it means like before you officially agree to like begin the purchasing process, there's like I imagine it equates to like buying a house. There has to be an opportunity to run an inspection on the house. you can waive that right in order to make the sale go faster. You don't have to do that. And so I feel like it's a similar thing. There was an opportunity prior to filing all the paperwork and stuff that Elon or the company or whatever it is that is representing the deal could have asked for all kinds of stuff, all the balance sheets, all of the user data that they're legally able to do.
And Twitter publicly offered it to him too. It's very public.
And he says, no. I want to buy it at this price. Let's go. And now that they're like, well, come on, let's do this. Like we're in the escrow stage again, I think, right? Like they've agreed to the terms. Like Twitter board said, yep, let's do it. And so now they're halfway, right? And now Elon notices the cracks in the foundation, and he's like, "Oh, well, I don't want to do this now."
It wasn't the cracks in the foundation, though. It was the Twitter stock crash that made him turn around.
Well, too bad. Like, what did you think was going to happen? I think they have more bots than they say, and have been lying to the SEC. I don't. I think that there'd be a bunch of false positives and stuff. There's going to be a bunch of. You can tell the obvious ones, Mr. First Name, bunch of numbers, right? But like. I think it would be near impossible to get a very firm number. You could guess because some of the bots are some of them aren't even bots in the sense that you think. They're real people
paid to tweet. Yeah,
that or they don't know their accounts are compromised and are just replying and tweeting to things and the real people behind them don't notice. They could be dead or half dead accounts that people don't know that they still have, and they're suddenly now taken over by hackers and stuff or whatever. Like it's
Elon Musk told them. They said, listen. And here's where Elon Musk is going to be screwed in any lawsuit from them is they have the record, it's public record, where they said, we will give you access to all the data and you should kick the tires before you buy this. And he replies back and he says, I already know about the bot problem. I know what I am buying.
And that was the whole point of him wanting to buy it, right? It's like, I'm the only one that can fix the bot problem. So what would it matter how many there are
on there? It's like, they have a fucking API. I even know how many bots are on the platform.
What difference would it make if you're going to fix the bot problem? What difference does it make how many there are?
Yeah, and the other thing
fix it.
So another thing Elon Musk screwed up on, in this one isn't being talked about yet, but it'll come up. You mark my words, it'll come up. Social Blade. So I watched his Blade statistics for his Twitter, and when he announced that he was buying Twitter, he started buying followers. So he was, but here's the thing: his following was coming in at a constant rate. He didn't randomize it. So every day he was getting between 120 and 150,000 new followers every single day. So that leaves you like a 30,000 delta. Well, on his birthday, he hit 100,000 followers, and every single day, like clockwork, 120 to 150. And then on his birthday, the day after that, it cuts down, and now it starts going positive, negative between 20 and 30,000 followers. Like sometimes like negative 16, sometimes positive 8, and it's jumping all around because that's exactly what it did before he started buying followers. So as soon as he said he was buying Twitter, he basically was trying to flood the platform with as many bots as humanly possible to follow him, to make the algorithm to give him the biggest voice on the platform. And then on his birthday, he congratulated himself for hitting 100 million followers and then stopped the bot network and only restarted it like 6 days later. It was like completely dead for like 6 days, and then he just started it up again. So I almost think he let it lapse and didn't realize it. Like he wasn't paying very good attention because shit was going on. Like his daughter disowned him and everything. So, but then he caught it. He's like, oh shit, turn it back on. So yeah, he's been buying bots. So he knows about the bot problem on Twitter. Anybody that thinks, oh, it was a bigger problem than he thought and he shouldn't have to buy it now or whatever. No, he 100% knew what the bot problem was. He was buying bots himself. He fully knew about everything he needed to know. That's why he said he didn't need to do his due diligence, because he already did. He already knew what was there. The only reason he started saying, ooh, I'm getting cold feet, was only after Tesla crashed, when he dumped the stock. And he dumped that stock to buy Twitter, which means he was committed at that point. Like he literally went and sold his stock to get the money. But then his investors crashed that fucker into the dirt and started just flaming the shit out of him on social media, saying, you lied to us. You promised you were never going to sell that stock for anything but to get us to Mars and nothing else. And you'd be first man in and last man out. And so the investors got pissed and they sold off, and that crashed the stock down to like 600 and some bucks. from like, what was it, like 1100 at its peak?
Yeah.
So it really hit the stock. Well, once it did that, he was like, oh shit, if I don't put that money back into Tesla, my investors, it's not going to recover. So he's like, I got to put that money back. So he has to make the decision. Do I spend the money on Twitter or do I put the money back into the stock? And so yesterday, when he had announced he's not buying Twitter, 24 hours previously, you can see the market trading volume on Tesla go through the roof. So it's like ding, 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 boom, big, huge spike. Then the next day, big, huge spike. And then he announces. So what he basically did was take his $10 billion and pump it back into Tesla at the lower price to rally the stock. Now he's pulling out of the Twitter deal, which is going to boost the stock even further. And now he just took his 10 billion that he sold out of Tesla and he's going to turn it into 20 billion. So because he sold it like, when it was like, $1,100 or $1,000 a share. So now he's buying back into it with the 10 billion, going to turn it into 20 billion, rally the stock again and sink Twitter. And so I hope the SEC is paying attention because that is highly illegal what he's doing. That is insider trading and stock manipulation.
Crazy.
Hey, Moose Man, thank you for the £3. Appreciate it, brother. We appreciate every little bit of support. You guys are awesome. We read all the super chats. Let's see here. He's considered making a competition company for the social media site. No, okay. I could see him doing that.
Okay. Good.
I don't think it'll do well because he doesn't really have 100. He'll have to pump that with bots too, just to get people interested, right? I mean, look at his account. Out of his account, what was it? That 60% is estimated to be bots. Yeah. I looked at my count. My count is like 15%. His is 60%. Out of 100 million followers, 60% of them are almost guaranteed to be bots, and that's the low side. The high side is going to be higher because there's a lot of bots that don't get detected easily. Yeah. So it's he really just pumped up his count. I think he's still pumping it right now. Like today, it's probably up. I bet another 100,000. Like here, let me go look at Social Blade.
Goofy. It's just goofy.
Yeah, because I've been monitoring it because I was like, I wonder if anybody's watching this.
This tweet a couple of days ago. Maybe Tesla should make a highly configurable robo van for people in cargo. Maybe you should make a fucking car that has good like quality control instead of half-inch gaps in your panels.
Wait, what the hell? You have been blocked by an automated system because you are accessing this from a robot. What? So Social Blade locked me out and said that this IP address tried to access him as a robot before. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not working. Oh, well. I can't look at Social Blade.
Fucking tweet, doing my best to help the underpopulation crisis. What a joke.
I know. But the funny thing is, like, he tweets that and he posts it when climate change was the biggest threat to humanity. Now it comes out that he's got, the next baby with Grimes, 2 babies with his executive from Neuralink, the company that's dying a horrible death right now, right? So that's not fraternization if I ever saw it. And Amber Heard is more than likely going to say that that's one of the embryos that he had with her. So that's going to be kid number 10. So all these kids are coming out and that's going to make investors nervous. So he's doing damage control. He's like, oh, pin the tweet saying, oh, population needs to go up, because then all of his viewers will be like, oh, this is the new problem. We need more babies. And then when it comes out that, oh, Elon has 25,000 babies all over the place, they're going to be like, yeah, see, he actually is doing what he said and he is solving the problem, because the cart before the horse.
Whatever.
He did the same shit with the allegations against him on the airplane, where he offered to buy the lady the horse or whatever because she wanted an erotic massage from him. And so he even paid her off, by the way. Everybody's like, oh, that was fake. No, he paid her off. She was given a settlement and signed an agreement saying that she wouldn't talk about it ever again, because she got fired and she went to a lawyer and they were like, well, shit, we can't fight this. We need to settle. So it's like, and you believe it too. I mean, this dude literally fucks everything in sight. So you really think he's going to be flying around with a hot lady on an airplane and not try to pull that shit when he literally can't even like go and see Amber Heard or Grimes or the CEO of his own fucking company, like Neuralink, and without plowing him and putting a baby in him? It's like this dude just runs around and just fucking cum sprinkler Musk. That's his new name. So when he posted that, I like immediately was like, oh yeah, we're going to hear about more kids. And sure enough, we heard about more kids. I swear to God, I was like clairvoyant. I need to go back through my Twitter history and pull up all the tweets I made, because I made so many predictions and like 90% of them came true.
So weird.
I was like, he's not going to buy Twitter. What's that?
Just scrubbing through his fucking Twitter feed is just so weird.
Oh yeah, dude, the dude is like just king shit poster, right? So it's terrible. Oh, Napalm said, what site was it? Oh, Social Blade. They basically monitor. Oh, not sorry, that's not it. I'll probably take you to some scam site. There you go. Social Blade, they monitor all the statistics from all the different social media sites. and YouTube and stuff, so you can put anybody and look at their statistics. And they're a lot. Some of them are estimated because they don't have full API access to it. But Twitter API does allow you to see how many people follow somebody at any given time in real time. So you can go in there and look at it and see that for a very long period of time, he was getting perfect following every day.
Yeah, 120.
120, like right in there. And then it just falls off a cliff after his birthday. So even if everybody was trying to follow him, they weren't able to, fucking 60 million people weren't able to coordinate and make sure, okay, on Wednesday, you guys are going to follow. And then on Thursday, we're going to follow. It wouldn't work that way. You'd see all kinds of randomness. One day it'd be 400,000. One day it'd be 20,000. It'd be all over the place. Whenever you see a trend where it's that big of a number and it's that close together, day after day after day after day, that person is buying bots. So that's how Ace Family got caught too. Ace Family got caught buying bots because somebody went and looked at their social blade and trended it and was like, so weird. They have 50,000 new followers every day. Like, oh, and they're trending on YouTube now because of it. So I love that joke that's going around. Twitter is the only thing Elon Musk has ever pulled out of.
Yeah, right. Seems that way. Jeez.
The thing is, I'm conflicted because I don't want Elon to have Twitter. I think that's a really bad move because if Elon has Twitter, he said if he bought Twitter, he wouldn't take it private. And then after he committed to buying it and signed the purchase agreement, he said he is actually going to change his mind. He is going to take it private and he's going to fire all the board members and he's going to run it himself. And so that would have been an absolute catastrophic nightmare. And of course, the first thing he said is we're going to reinstate Trump. So Trump was all super excited about that. And so I'm really glad he didn't get that like that. So I'm very grateful that, he is a liar and a cheat and he did exactly what we predicted he would. And that's pull out of the deal and try to weasel out of something after doing as much public collateral damage to Twitter as humanly possible. But I also kind of want to see him be forced to buy Twitter or to severely get sued and lose billions of dollars for what he did to Twitter, because
I hope he's held to the billion pullout thing. I think that he should get slapped in the face for stock stuff. I don't know exactly what the charge would be, but for being a namby-pamby on about it and manipulating shit left and right, I think he needs to get hurt harder for pumping Doge and all that stuff. Oh, Tesla's going to accept Bitcoin, and then like 3 weeks later, oh, just kidding, I just found out how bad it is for the environment.
When he knew how bad it was for the environment, he still is one of the largest Bitcoin holders in the world. So obviously he doesn't. Oh no, care. The company still is holding like billions in fucking Bitcoin, but has no problem with. He's like, why doesn't he accept Doge? I mean, he does for like buying shirts and shit, but why doesn't he accept it for cars like he did Bitcoin? He's like, oh, Doge is the future, bet on Doge, but he won't take any risk on it.
No talk about how damaging lithium mining is, for his cars.
That's why he got kicked off of the S&P, what was it, like environmental list?
Right.
So the S&P 500 had a list of companies that like meet like EPA standards and shit for like, producing carbon and things like that. And they did the investigation on Tesla, and Tesla didn't disclose all the data. They hid a bunch of shit. They moved a bunch of stuff to China that they didn't factor into their carbon footprint because it was being made in China. And so they kicked them off the fucking list because they were like, Elon went like nuclear that day too on Twitter. Like the EPA doesn't know what they're talking about. We've done more for the environment than any other company in the world. It's like, fucking please, brother, please. You did not do with as many fucking Teslas are sitting in car graveyards around the world with fucking thousands of pounds of lithium and other toxic heavy metals in them. You haven't done shit. Yeah, like if you had did what you said and kept the cars on the road for like 100 years, but you're not. You're throwing them away every 10 years.
I'm doing the most to help save the environment.
You literally tweeted that, and I was like, no, you're not. You're a fucking cum sprinkler. You're cum sprinkler Musk.
Look, it's weird though, because it's like it's hard to separate the guy from the company, right? Because I do believe that like Tesla as a company is doing quite a lot to help push, or has done quite a lot to push like solar and electric vehicles and blah 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 blah. I don't think we would have come as far. Like look at the plethora of awesome fucking electric cars that are available right now.
No,
they're pretty expensive itself.
Yes,
but like,
no.
Yeah, man, like the solar tile thing for your roof, the fucking Tesla wall battery thing, like all this stuff.
Thing's actually a bust. But both of those things have been a bust environmentally.
Well, I mean, okay, but I just think it's helped push the idea of like solar and electric and renewables and all that stuff a lot, puts it more into the front of people and makes it like interesting and stuff. It's cool that people want to do it, but as a person, man.
But the thing is, you look closer, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'll give them that. The Model S blew everything up, but that was one project that they did where it actually went off.
SpaceX, like that's working real well.
SpaceX is working well. Yeah, SpaceX is my favorite company out of all.
It's great that he's been able to like gather the right people together to make some really cool stuff happen. But he's not that fucking cool.
Yeah, but Elon Musk, keep in mind though that Tesla in 2015. He said that we'd have full self-driving by 2019. He even stood by that all the way up to 2018 before he's like, oh, now next year, then next year. There's a really cool video on YouTube that shows every single promise that he's made since 2015 and how he's broken all of them. Every single one of them, even the ship, like the Plaid. If you go back and watch what he said he was going to deliver, he did not deliver it. He said that you were going to be able to get a Tesla Model 3 for $25,000 directly from them. And that you will be no, you couldn't. You couldn't get into that thing for under fucking $50,000 at the end of checkout. And the Cybertruck, it's going to be like 50,000 more than what they said it was going to be when they started developing. Even though they took the deposits, they're still going to up the price on everybody, and they have to just forfeit or not forfeit, but they'll refund their deposit after they sat on that deposit and made tons of money in interest. Reloaning that money. So that's something that Tesla does with their pre-buys is like when you lay down a deposit, you're saying, I'm going to buy something for this price. I'm locking it in. But Tesla doesn't do that. They even with Starlink, did you see the people that were on the Starlink list for 2 years? They said you are not transferable. You cannot transfer. They ended that transferable shit. They said you cannot transfer this. So if you cancel it, we'll give you back your deposit. But that's it. And then they made the price of Starlink go up by $100 for the satellite dish. So it went from, I think it was $300 to $400. Or $399 to $499. So it went up $100. So 25% increase in cost. And they basically said, listen, if you don't want it anymore, you can just cancel and we'll give you back your $200 we've been holding for over 2 years. It's like, that's horseshit. That should be illegal. That's a fucking scam.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna keep the interest on your fucking everybody's $200, and then we'll give you back the base money, and then just keep the interest. There, you're welcome. Like, no, that's a fucking scammy, dude. I could create a business that does that. Oh, I'm gonna sell you a fucking teleporter. Get your pre-orders now. And then 5 years later, after I get all the interest on, my 100,000 orders or whatever, I'm going to be like, tell you what, guys, I'm not going to have the teleportation technology for another 300 to 400 years. So if you want your money back, just go ahead and, I'll happily give you your money back after I've already made like $20 billion. Like you can't do that. Like that. If a bank did that, it'd be fucking robbery.
Yeah.
So shit like that pisses me off. It does that. And he's not a visionary. People are like, he's a visionary. Yeah. No, he's a plagiarizer.
I'd say
every other fucker's idea on the planet.
I'd say good businessman. Now, because it does take some acumen to be able to take, because he's made some fat stacks on his own.
I'd say pitch.
And then knowing like, hey, these guys have a good idea. Like he bought Tesla. Like he didn't create out of the ether Tesla. He bought a small EV company and
first
paid for their name.
Then he bought them.
And stuff like that. And like it wasn't his idea, it was somebody else's idea. He just put money into it. Mm-hmm. And so that takes some acumen, that takes some skill and brains and stuff like that. But he's not an engineer. He's not the guy actually crunching the numbers. He's not the guy actually sitting down designing rockets and stuff.
He's a cutthroat investor is what he is.
And so like there's visionary mate, like that's a stretch, man. He's not Howard Hughes. Like that guy actually was designing shit and making stuff.
Yeah.
And you might argue one way or the other, like, okay, but it like I said, it does take a certain amount of skill and ability and wherewithal, right? You gotta have some balls to dump a bunch of money into something that maybe not, but definitely no visionary. If he was the one who actually had the idea for a ultra fast fucking electric car and he built that up with his PayPal money on his own, then maybe visionary. But no, he invested in SpaceX. He didn't create SpaceX out of thin air. That was already there. And, and he dumped money into it, like, and made it and helped to make it better. Like it is not, he didn't do it on his own, and he's not making it all. It's just that would be visionary.
SpaceX crashed, Tesla crashed. Those businesses shouldn't still be there. Elon Musk is good at gathering money. He is good at borrowing money
more
from
like Tony
people.
Stark without that. No, he's not like Tony Stark. Tony Stark actually made and designed the Iron Man suit himself. He's more like the other guy, the Hammer, where he's copying or trying to dump money into some other, and talking a lot of shit. Like if he's not an actual maker,
Yeah, he's somebody said, "Oh, he's our modern day Nikola Tesla," and I was like, "No, he's our modern day Edison."
Technically, he's a chief engineer. Okay, I can get when I own a company, I can give myself any title I want.
You can call yourself whatever you want. Like I'm literally the CEO of a multi-global company.
And you know what? Yeah,
I am literally on paper. You can go look at it.
It says it right. He is smart. Like I wouldn't deny that he's a smart guy, for sure.
No,
definitely a
He
smart
is intelligent. He just uses that intelligent for bad things.
But I don't, and maybe might even be a good programmer for all I know, because he's done some of that in the past. PayPal is a freaking cool thing. Whatever.
He didn't write PayPal. To him. He hired somebody to write it.
I imagine so. But like, good businessman, sure.
People don't know this, but he was always wealthy. Elon Musk was wealthy before he even did his first PayPal. The reason he did PayPal is because of his dad's fucking emerald mine.
Right.
So that's the thing is people like to say, oh yeah, he pulled up his bootstraps and programmed his first thing and sold it for like $1 million. No, he like funded an operation with his family's money, hired developers, had them build it, pitched it and marketed it and got somebody else to buy it for way more than what he invested into building it, neutralized the fucking employee base, took his huge cut and moved on, bought a McLaren F1, crashed it, and then created another company. That's where he is smart. His business smart is in creating companies and make people believe that he's a genius and a visionary so that they will keep trusting him when he just throws out shit that is impossible. It's and here's the thing. I'll give it to you, like Falcon 9, absolutely amazing fucking idea. Right? NASA was like, that ain't ever gonna work.
Oh yeah, landing a rocket on its butt and all that stuff.
Yep. Yeah. And he didn't come up with the idea, but he sure as fuck approved it. Like he was like, let's go, like let's take a risk. Right. And we wouldn't have that without that. So I'm not saying that he's absolutely useless. I'm just saying that he's a fucking shyster. Like he is a con man. Like the dude lies to everybody, makes them think that he's designing everything, makes people work, and he's like 24/7.
Reminds me of
everybody to work as hard as me and be as smart as me because it's I believe that the company should do this. Like no, I know people that work at Tesla. It's a goddamn sweat factory.
I wonder how much. It's got a vague feeling of like The Music Man to it. You ever see that musical? Or that episode of Simpsons where they build the monorail. Similar sort of thing.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Similar sort of thing.
Monorail.
Which is that's a retelling of The Music Man, just in Simpsons form.
Yeah, but, I haven't seen that. The lowbrow version.
Yeah, which fine, whatever. It's not. I just think people make a big deal, make him into a bigger hero than he really is. So.
Wait, on a Netflix documentary, he even said that the flight, it actually worked and it landed. If it didn't, it was over. Yeah,
I bet it rides the raggedy edge.
Their third Falcon 9 rocket crashed, and they said that was the last one they had funding for. The company was ready to go down. Elon was able to raise another round of investment for the fourth rocket that succeeded. So again, just like with the Roadster from Tesla, the company should have gone bankrupt. Tesla should have gone bankrupt, but Elon is good at getting more people to just keep giving him money. That's why I say he's a con man, because the dude can literally convince you after fucking you over like 3 times, you will still go back and give the guy money. He's that good. Like he knows how to tell you what he needs to tell you to get your money. He knows how to fucking get in there and work that greed and be like, hey guys, I'm doing this social media thing where I can like manipulate my entire audience and get them to go make a stock go up or down just by a meme. Like, dude, invest in this and I'm going to do a meme tonight, and fucking all his friends make money. So the investors are like, fuck, we'll fund you, man. You make us so much money on the side with all this shit, and you make us so much money giving us the heads up on pumping and dumping your stock and shit. But fuck yeah, dude, ride or die.
He's not a con man. Developers run into fucking nightmares when you're doing it. It's not even that. Look at just the recent problems that have been happening with Tesla vehicles. That's not a software problem. It's not okay. Fine. Yeah, I'm willing to cut some slack to software developers. I've been a gamer my entire life. I know how like development. I've done a little bit of software development myself. I know how software works, and I'm understanding of software problems and delays. Totally. How many video games have been delayed for how many years? Totally fine with it. What's the problem? What's the problem is not delivering on the things that you say, changing the moving goalposts.
Yep, moving goalposts is a big one.
The quality level of Teslas coming out. You say, oh yeah, we're building 1,000 a week out in Germany or whatever. Like, look, what sealed the deal for me? What sealed the deal for me was one of the people whose opinions and intelligence I hold in high respect was a big fan of Tesla and loves his vehicle. When this guy, probably the smartest person I know
exactly
has turned his back due to what the company is doing and has done, That to me speaks volumes.
And also keep in mind that the person he's talking about was also on the board of directors of SpaceX. So
it's
he was a board member, and he's still
I'm not just I'm not saying that just to like because I'm just going to do whatever this opinion person says or whatever. It just that to me was kind of the nail in the coffin. You know, a lot of it was talking stuff. But when
are leaving the ship, then it's time to go.
So whatever. I mean, and that's fair. And like everybody can have their thing. I don't think you're a dumbass or anything for thinking the way you think. That's on you. It doesn't affect my day to day.
I do get it though. I understand why the cult of Musk exists. Like I was a part of it. Like I do understand.
I was a big fan.
It's cool to think. Just Bill Gates was the same way growing up. Bill Gates, oh man, he's fighting for all nerds, and look at him, and he's creating operating systems.
That's a good example.
And I grew up, and I was like, I fucking idolized Bill Gates. And then I grew up and find out that I meet the guy in person, and he's just a dick. He is
imagine he's not very good
dick.
Socially. I bet he's
not just good socially, like literally like fucking just loves the suffering of other companies when he fucking acquires them and forces them to sell.
Damn.
He literally gets like a fucking boner from it and went on for about 15 minutes while I stand next to him about acquiring a company. And I was like, holy shit, dude, you are fucking cold, dude. You are cold. But the thing is, people look up to him and they're like, oh yeah, that guy, he created DOS and he created Windows. Fuck no, he didn't. Wow. Bill Gates bought DOS. He bought DOS for $20,000 and didn't give the guy a deal, fucking royalty. Best deal ever. The best decision he ever made in his life. And then Windows, he basically just ripped it off from fucking Xerox. Windows was ripped off from watch Pirates of Silicon Valley. He fucking ripped it off from Xerox, and then he ripped it off from Apple. Apple ripped it off from Xerox. And the first version of Windows wasn't programmed by Bill Gates. He didn't have any code in it. It was programmed by fucking Paul Allen, and I think they brought Cutler in at that time.
Again, same kind of deal. Good businessman, not necessarily the brilliant genius that people make him out to be.
No, he's not the brilliant genius.
Again, though, you have to have a certain amount of like smarts and feeling and whatnot to make these good decisions and stuff. Like, I mean, you don't get to be in the positions that you are like by not making intelligent decisions. Anything positive on these streams ever? Oh, man, you're bringing a lot of negativity to your own self, man.
Yeah, why are you being so fucking negative?
Pot calling kettle black. And there is usually like you missed all the positivity at the beginning. Now we're on rant mode, and you have to listen to this. It just I don't know, man. That's the long and the short of it. Like I don't have any personal like a grievance with the guy or anybody really because I don't know these people.
I do. I've done enough research on him. He's a piece of shit.
But you judge based on the information you have available to you. But like I don't. Whatever. What day-to-day effect does Musk's yabbering or anybody's really have on me? I keep abreast of it to make sure that it doesn't or what it does affect me. Like I don't have any. I'm not sitting here all day. Fucking Elon Musk and fucking Bill Gates. Whatever. It's something to talk about. But at the end of the day, like I'm still gonna end up eating my Cheetos and having a good time playing video games and stuff. Like,
Yeah, no, the thing is like, no, I can admit that they're intelligent. Like, honestly, you do have to have a level of intelligence to play the game. I'm just saying that they're unethical and immoral, which is unfortunately society does reward that. So, and as long as that happens, you're going to have people like those. It's just there's no two bits about it. But it does piss me off with what they get away with.
Getting warm.
Yeah. So, ever heard of Edison Motors? Yeah, that was a fluke.
Was that supposed to be like a competitor to Tesla?
It was, and they were gonna make these giant trucks that were electrified, they're self-driving, and it just went nowhere. It just took everybody's money and ran. It was the biggest fucking fail ever. Lucid Motors is doing pretty good though. Lucid Motors is doing better than expected.
Oh man, Rivian's doing good. Polestar's doing good. I love that. Kia and Hyundai have the two best-selling. I want to say they were the best-selling vehicles, but I'm pretty sure it's the best-selling electric vehicles in the United States, and they're cool. I love my fucking spaceship, man. It is rad. It is really freaking cool.
Hyundai electric car. It's
awesome.
There's a guy called Aging Wheels on YouTube, and he has a whole video of a road trip that they did in one of the Hyundais.
Dude,
and the electric car, it's an 800-volt system. It has more range than the Tesla. Obviously, Teslas are more power oriented because, well,
I mean, I'm not doing the 0 to 60 in 3 seconds or 0 to 100 in 3 seconds in the thing, but it's still fast.
But it's fast.
It makes me feel good gapping fools at the stoplights and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, electric is the future for sure. But the thing is like Tesla, if you look at them, it's like, here's the truth, right?
Yeah, man.
They are still using the same 400-volt system that was in the original Roadster. Like Tesla hasn't changed much. Like, we got our 3-phase electric. Well, no, they've added powers, they've put more windings on it, but it's still the same old ass technology. Everybody else went to an 800-volt system, which means you save like hundreds of pounds of copper wire, and the routing of those wires is a lot easier because they're smaller and there's less heat. And less heat is less deterioration. You're not going to, burn off the sheathing and shit on the cables over time. So 800-volt systems, that's the way to go. And 800-volt charging systems charge faster and with less heat than the 400-volt systems. So now you have everybody else standardized on 800 volts. Porsche did, Hyundai did, Ford did. Everybody's using 800-volt systems. Tesla is the only one that's like, no, we're going to stick with our shitty old inefficient 400-volt systems. And it's like, why? That's like, I thought you guys were like big on innovation, but it's because Elon only cares about what he can market to people that they will understand.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like, I'm going to make a car that goes this fast and nobody else goes this fast. Like, he picks something and then he lays all the cards down on that one trick. And it doesn't matter that it's unreliable. It doesn't matter the battery pack's going to die in like fucking 3 years or 2 years if you keep drag racing it.
Right.
Somebody did the math on that too. It's like the Ludicrous edition, or not Ludicrous. Sorry, the Plaid edition. They're like, if you put it in drag mode all the time and you're just like daily, just like fucking dragging that thing off of every stoplight and everything, that battery is not going to last anywhere close to the warranty period. But nobody's owned one long enough to hit the warranty period. So who's to say when they get to that warranty period, Tesla hasn't discontinued that specific battery pack and is like, sorry.
Yeah, I bet.
And so otherwise, are they going to go fucking bankrupt replacing these $20,000 battery packs in like every Plaid they sold? Like,
that freaking blows my mind, man. How expensive it is to swap a battery.
It's so stupid.
But I mean, I imagine, honest to goodness, though, I imagine that's going to be for anybody. Like, it's not just Tesla stuff. If something wonky happens with my spaceship and I got to change the battery, it's going to be fucking expensive. It's the whole floorboard. It's the whole floor of the car. The battery is right there underneath you. So like, I don't know. I haven't got up underneath the thing, but I can't imagine it's simple no matter what EV you're driving.
True. So you have the full electric EV, right?
The Ioniq 5. I want to know. So I've been in a Tesla with the Ludicrous update, right? And there's all these secret shit. You gotta push this button, hold the brake down, or pump the brake 5 times while holding this thing, and all this stuff. And it puts it into like launch mode, right? It's like it's like a secret thing almost. I want to know if there's any kind of cool secret shit in the spaceship. Something that I hold the I don't know, turn off there's a button for turning off the slip helping stuff, the traction control, you hold that down for 10 seconds while holding the park or the go. I don't know. I just want to know if there's some sort of secret stuff in the thing, just to know. I hope there's some sort of Easter eggs and stuff in the thing.
Well, the thing that sucks is none of the electric cars that I know of allow you to do a freestanding burnout. Oh, and I think the reason that they do that is because it'll just eat that 5,000 pounds. It will eat those tires in seconds. Like they'll just be.
If I push the brake and I push the gas pedal, nothing happens.
Yeah, you can't do that. And you don't have line lock like you do in like a Mustang or something like that, where you just lock up the front brakes and smoke the rear tires off.
Bums me out.
Tesla can't even do it. We spent the only way that we were able to get Adam's car to do a burnout, his Plaid, or not, well, it basically is a Plaid. It's like the Model S Ludicrous edition, but modified.
Yeah.
To get that thing to do a burnout, we had to basically go like WD-40 the wheels. And we could still only get it to do a burnout for about 1 second, like a gnarly burnout before the computer kicks in and goes, nope, and traction control takes over. So, and that's even in like launch mode. That's like launch mode, everything enabled, like the best case scenario, because these electric cars, they don't want you to be able to smoke the tires off of them.
Right.
So they don't consider that like a good mode. And the thing is that those cars, they weigh so much. People don't realize that because they don't feel like they weigh that much when you drive them because of their handling characteristics. But yeah, these are 5,000 pound cars plus. And so and a lot of that weight is in the back, right? It's the battery pack and everything. It's like it's distributed. It's not all in the front. So when you're doing a burnout, you have that much weight sitting on that axle. You know, you got 50% of the car's weight sitting over that rear axle. So if you smoke the tires off the thing, it's like your tire's gonna go bald literally in seconds. It's not gonna be like those guys that do a burnout for like 3 minutes before their tires are bald. It's like you're just gonna be like, and there's just gonna be a pile of rubber behind the tire, and it's probably gonna blow. So especially when you have like 4,000 foot-pounds of torque, it's crazy. Would I ever go back to a company like Microsoft and be a developer again? I may be forced to at some time. I don't want to go back to Microsoft, but I may be forced to go back to a desk job at some point.
No.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed, but it's kind of looking that way. It's just this is a crowded market, and my health is failing me. So
yeah.
Man,
there's plenty of opportunity work from home stuff. You still do both.
That is true. I guess when I say like a desk job, I do also mean work from home.
Especially with your experience in automation, bro.
Oh yeah, no. And the thing is, I can brush that shit off any.
Become a social media manager for somewhere and just automate the whole fucking thing.
That was actually one of my goals early on when I started doing YouTube and stuff. Is I was literally going to write automation that all I had to do was just like in front of the camera, like say a noise. Yeah. And like a little clicker or something, or a little noise generator, and then drag it in and have automation go into Adobe Premiere and like cut out all the jump cuts. Yeah. And then if I have a bad take, just after the take, just say, and it'll go back and delete everything back to the last click.
Nice.
And so by doing that, I would effectively be editing my video while I was shooting it.
Yeah.
And I did I wrote a little bit of code long time ago that was a script that ran outside of Adobe Premiere that just played, and when it heard the sound, it would basically do a cut, and then when it heard the it would backspace and delete it, and if it didn't hear the it would cut out all the silence between the two clicks.
Yeah, man.
And it worked pretty good. Like it was like you could go through an entire video and cut out all the silence and all the bad takes. And I was like, this is a great idea. And now that I just said that, somebody else out there will steal it, and we'll see it in a week.
If it hasn't already.
Yeah, if it hasn't already been
they're Descript. It's a kind of a transcription plus service. And they already have an automatic thing that will cut out fillers and dead space and stuff for you automatically.
Dude, it's getting so good. Like the automation of shit.
It's really neat.
Like I watched somebody wrote, I think it's on GitHub. It's like it takes Unreal Character Creator and it creates like a human replica. And then you point it at a news site, or like you put in a URL and it goes to the site and it extracts the news articles, and it just makes a video of like a random woman or a random man and you've probably seen these videos and don't even realize it. Like it's uncanny valley, right?
Yeah.
But on YouTube, if you ever see a video where somebody's just kind of sitting here like this and just kind of like barely moving back and forth their head, and they're like, today in the news, Elon Musk bought, said he wasn't
just talking head stuff. Yeah.
Talking head, but it's unreal. And it's matched to the lips and everything. And then in the background, it's just playing all the different clips and media that it found on the website. And it jumped out. So they basically created a way to completely automate a video with a robotic storyteller that with a very convincing voice. Yeah. And all they have to do is it just renders it. They just watch CNET or whatever. And whenever a new article drops within 20 minutes, they have a video put together, uploaded, and rendered on their site.
I can see it.
And
it wouldn't be that tough.
There's a lot of money in that.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be, yeah.
Yeah, I do hope though at one point that YouTube does ban completely robotic generation, like where there's no human element. And the reason being is it's being so abused. Did you see that one guy uploaded 1 million videos before they caught him?
Wow.
Most videos ever uploaded to channel, 1 million videos. He was uploading 10,000 videos a day, and each video was only getting between, I think it was like 30 and 60 views, but that equated to hundreds of thousands of dollars in ad revenue. Because he just had so many videos, the volume. It's like every one of those views on each video across, 1 million videos. That's like if he gets $1 from each one of those videos, that's $1 million.
Wow.
So, but they shut him down. But I can't believe he got to 1 million for them to finally detect. Oh, wait a second. There's a channel with 1 million videos, and these videos are all 10 minutes long. And if you clicked on the videos, they were like, sometimes they would upload the same video of like 20 different articles for the same thing.
Oh,
and it would just be showing like zoom in and zoom out. Like the worst one is I think it's called the Elon zone. I don't know why they don't delete this.
Oh, you've told me about this one. Yeah. Where they like chop up different chunks of like his videos or his interviews and stuff, and then post it up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and then the titles are always like ominous, like, I tried to warn you, Elon Musk's last warning. Elon Musk's first wife describes their relationship. SpaceX employee opens up about Elon Musk. And if you look, all the thumbnails are auto-generated, but they look good. And you click on it, and it's just a voiceover top. It's like Elon Musk, and some of the shit is just absolutely bonkers crazy, and they won't delete it. Like one is like, Elon Musk has created the first fusion, or has just tested the first fusion engine that's going to get him to Mars, and they're fitting it to Starship right now. You'll be able to buy a ticket to go to Mars within the next year, guaranteed, Musk says. And it's like, why won't they delete this channel? All it does is upload video after video after video of live.
I mean, because technically it's not a violation, right? Like it's all free use. How so?
It's all free use. You're not allowed to mislead people. Like it's in the TOS that you cannot create a video that is intentionally misleading or providing misinformation. That's in the TOS, unless it's a parody. That's the thing. If it's a parody, but he doesn't say it's a parody, and he doesn't put a parody anywhere in it. And Elon Musk is the one that this happens to the most. If you do a search, like go right now and search for Elon Musk on YouTube. Just type in the search for Elon Musk and scroll down. And once you get past like the news sites like CNN and stuff like that, once you get past that page and you scroll down, it's just all auto-generated sites. Just auto-generated site after auto-generated site. Here, let me go to the incognito window, because for some reason it's now showing me legit stuff. Who knows? Maybe they fixed it. Elon Musk. Okay, now I typed it into incognito. Let's see. Okay, so filters. Let's see. Uploaded in the last hour. You have, let's see here. Tesla company. There's a site. Okay, so and it obviously isn't Tesla company because it's got an icon that isn't Tesla related. It's Elon Musk and Cathie Wood. What happened to the stable coins? This is the beginning of the end. Live, 20,000 people watching right now. Listen. So they basically have Elon Musk in a window that looks like a Zoom call with 20,000 people watching this stream, of which I guarantee you 19,000 of them are bots.
Right.
And it's called Tesla company, and this is not Tesla's official website. This is just these people are just running a scam.
Weird.
It's so bizarre, and there's scam after scam after scam on here. Like the shit ranges from believable to just absolutely not believable at all. Like the one that I saw the other day is like, Elon has created the first fusion engine, or Elon Musk created a new engine prototype for his electric cars that'll allow them to go 12,000 miles on a single charge. I saw one that was Elon Musk creates the first car to run completely on water without any additional chemicals. I was like, and they have millions of views. Some of these videos have millions of views, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? But the problem is, how do you police a platform when there are literally millions of minutes of content coming in like every minute or every hour?
Yeah,
you can't put enough humans on that shit. So now you have to be like, how do I build an AI that is smart enough to detect this shit without a bunch of collateral damage? Because they don't care. It's a harder problem to catch the bots than to create them. Creating bots
for
is
sure.
easy. Catching them is hard because you have to figure out how to not cause collateral damage. The closer the bot is to something a real human would do, the harder it is for you to pick them out of a crowd and pick them off. But there's no risk to the guy creating the bot because he can just create more. Biker Chris, thank you for the $6 super chat. He said, "Hey Jerry, sad you might be an employee again, but needs must. Hope you can still do YouTube. Tried sending you money via PayPal. It failed. Chin up, fella. Oh, that sucks. why doesn't PayPal work?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope it's not broken for everybody. I think it's like, what is it? PayPal me /Barnacules or something. I don't even know. That might explain why I haven't seen a PayPal thing in a while. I just figured people don't like me anymore. I think it's like, is PayPal me I don't know. Let me see if this pops up. Yeah, no, it says it still works. So here, try this. You don't have to, Biker Chris. Thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, man, thanks.
But I just want to see if this shows up for anybody else. PayPal me /Barnacules. Somebody tell me if that actually like opens up and looks like it work. Because yeah, I've noticed you're not the first person to say you couldn't do that, but I've also had people message me and say that they couldn't Cash App me something when I just received a Cash App from somebody. So it just sometimes things work for one person and don't work for the other, probably just because of the server farm in their area or some kind of maybe conversion rules or something. Oh, good, it does work. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I probably should go through and like check all that stuff and fix it. I haven't done that in forever. Watch all my links to everything just don't work. Like nobody can find me. Everybody thinks I'm dead. it's entirely possible.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our fringe topics. What is this
what is
photonic
this?
materials light-based computing
I don't know.
thing?
I don't know. I'll have to look at the link I sent you.
Here, I'll put it.
Because that's how that works. We don't look.
Yeah, we don't do any research ahead of time. We like to be shock and awed along with you guys.
Look, if you want better content, you need to provide us with topics. So this is
we ask for them every week.
That's right. Use hashtag Tech Talk Topic.
There you go.
We'll be, and we might even say, hey man, this guy on Twitter sent us this topic, and go follow him. We might.
Oh, no way. Gamers Unite said that Trump stepped down from the board of Truth Social just before the subpoena. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw that. At least the headline.
Oh, man. Sucks to be him. I'm just saying.
Let's see. Researchers at the University of Central Florida are developing new photonic materials which may one day be used to enable ultra-fast, low-power, light-based computing. Unique materials referred to as topological insulators resemble wires that have been flipped inside out, with the insulation on the inside and the current flowing along the exterior.
That's
in order to avoid the overheating issue that today's ever smaller circuits encounter, topological insulators could be incorporated into circuit designs to enable the packing of more processing power into a given area without generating heat.
So wait, it's like a fiber optic cable, but the fiber optic is on the outside and the core is like solid?
I guess that's kind of what they just said. Yeah,
how do they stop like light from the room and people with laser pointers and shit like corrupting the data? Like you think that'd pick up light, like they'd cross-contaminate each other. Like if you had two wires next to each other and they were transmitting visible light, I don't know. Maybe it's the angle of attack. I don't know. It's just that seems weird to do that.
It just says the researchers envision that the new design approach introduced by the bimorphic topological insulators will lead to a departure from traditional modulation techniques, bringing the technology of light-based computing one step closer to reality.
Sounds like the discombobulator guy.
Yeah, right. Bimorphic topological insulators introduce a new paradigm shift in the design of photonic circuitry by enabling secure transport of light packets with minimal losses. This is somebody from University of Central Florida's College of Optics and Photonics lead author. Next steps for the research include the incorporation of nonlinear materials into the lattice that could enable the active control of topological regions, thus creating custom pathways for light packets, says Dimitrios Christodoulides, a professor in UCF's College of Optics and Body Black co-author. Blah 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 blah. I guess it's just a small step forward in the idea for.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen fiber optic computers before. Like they've already looked into like CPUs that use light channels instead of electron transmission wires because there's less crosstalk.
Yeah.
But the amount of power that they used was more, not less, because you have to generate the light, right? You have to use, light emitting diodes, to generate the light, and then break it down and or lasers even, and push the light through the light tube. And it's like you lose some power. The efficiency is there is heat, and it's like, do you lose more power like converting it to light before sending it through and then reconstituting that light back into, because you need processing power on both sides of that operation. So I don't really know how.
Oh, so this is kind of interesting. So just as I'm looking up what topological insulators are, there's a snippet here on Google that asks, why are topological insulators interesting? It says, for example, current flows only in one direction on a surface. So again, like the insulators on the inside is the core, and then there's some sort of, whatever transport on the outer surface. But the thing is, current flows only in one direction on a surface, though it can flow in opposite directions on the top and the bottom. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see here. Let's look a little deeper into this. This is from Chemical and Engineering News about topological materials.
The discombobulator.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like when you were reading that. I was like, I didn't understand like half of that. I'm like, the what now?
Just from eyeballs to mouth. There's no process in there.
Oh, it does work. Thank you for testing that. I got a PayPal for $2.79. Thank you, sir.
Nice.
It does in fact work.
It takes 200. Okay. That's weird. Okay, so what's going on here? I'm trying to skim through this real fast. Trying to build smaller transistors, nanowires, making nanowires out of bismuth and nickel that are about 4 to 10 atoms thick. Synthesized wires, that's called these major conductor. Less nanowires turn out to not conduct electricity as well as Rock expected. Okay, so that's not going to work. Why had such high resistance and therefore low conductance? But fortunately, he found a paper offered a way to get around the limit based on a theory that was I was very much paper. Something about resistivity is mostly controlled by backscattering, a process in which electrons hit defects in a material, they're flowing through and get knocked out their course. Okay, so that's like resistance. That makes sense. Paper said that certain types of materials protect electrons from backscattering and therefore lack resistivity. Let them shift direction. Oh, oops, excuse me.
I think it was last one.
Topology. Branch of mathematics that describes properties that can change only in discrete steps.
Here, how do I highlight that? Where's the highlight button? There we go. I highlighted.
This is it's I don't know. It's weird stuff.
It's above my pay grade. Oh my god! I don't understand any of that.
This is very strange. So it mentions it. So topology often refers to the contours of a surface or the shape of a crystal. In this case, mathematicians are talking about objects that retain the same basic properties, even as those objects are deformed, as long as that deformation doesn't involve tearing. Okay. Topology classifies objects by the number of holes they have. Normally, people are discouraged by comparing apples to oranges, but in topology, the comparison is completely acceptable. An orange is basically a sphere with no hole. If it were perfectly malleable, you could reshape it into an apple and you wouldn't have changed the basic properties. Similarly, a donut could be remolded into a coffee cup, with the donut's hole becoming the opening in the cup's handle. A donut with its one hole is topologically equivalent to the cup, but not to the orange and not to a pretzel.
I am so confused right now.
Well, no, I'm kind of getting it. So as long as like the basic, like
TLDR
properties, it seems that as long as the basic properties of the object remain the same, you can think of it like. Also, like take the donut example, right? If the donut were made out of clay, right? You can do whatever you want with the clay, but you have to keep one hole in it, right? That's a basic property of the donut. So you can smush it and reform it into a coffee cup, right? And the donut is still the hole of the donut is now the handle. It's now the handle of the cup, right? But you couldn't take the donut and make it into a pretzel because now you're poking more holes into it, right? You have to have the one, so you're tearing the material. That's bad. You can't do that. But you can smush it and reshape it and all that stuff as long as it still maintains the basic property. And then it goes on to as far as mathematical topology is concerned, I guess. And then it talks about topological materials boast certain electronic states that persist in the face of disruptions to their physical structures. So blah, 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 blah. That's what's important. Isn't the shape of the material itself, but the structure of its electronic bands. Electrons within materials occupy certain energy levels or bands. In nonmetals, they live in the valence band, the highest range of energies at which you find electrons when the material is at absolute zero. The conduction band is the lowest range. Okay, this is getting a little out of here.
Yeah, I was like, you lost me a while ago. I was like, huh?
Weird. Topological material trisodium bismuthide shows high electron mobility.
Does anybody in chat get any of this? Do we have any physicists in here that have any clue what Ox just said?
Yeah, this is need an adult. This is high level physical stuff. They go on to talk about many of the unusual electronic effects of topological materials arise from their strong spin orbit coupling. In spin orbit coupling, the electrons move or orbit in the same direction as their spin. Over again. Yeah, man, I have no idea.
God! Here, give it. Here, I want to see if anybody can tell the difference. Recite the discombobulator thing. Or
the turbo encabulator.
Yeah, do the turbo encabulator and see if it sounds any different from what you just said to people. Hold on here. I like it when he does the turbo encabulator.
This is very fun for me. I like this one. Here we go. The complete text.
Because we want to see, guys. We want to see if what he just said for like 5 minutes before, if you can tell any difference between that and what he's about to say now.
For a number of years now, work has been proceeding in order to bring perfection to the crudely conceived idea of a transmission that would not only supply inverse reactive current for the use in unilateral phase detractors, but would also be capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal gram meters. Such an instrument is the turbo encabulator. Now, basically, the only new principle involved is that instead of power being generated by the relative motion of conductors and fluxes, it is produced by the modial interaction of magneto-reluctance and capacitive directance. The original machine has had a base plate of prefamulated amulite surrounded by a malleable logarithmic casing in such a way that the two spurving bearings were in direct line with a panametric fan. The latter consisted of 6 hydrocoptic marsal vanes so fitted to the ambifacient lunar wane shaft that side fumbling was effectively prevented. The main winding was of the normal Lotus O-delta type, placed in panendermic semiboloid slots of the stator, every 7th conductor being connected by a non-reversible Tremi pipe to the differential girdle spring on the up end of the gram meters. The turbo encabulator has now reached a high level of development and is being successfully used in the operation of Nova trunnions. Moreover, when a fluorescent score motion is required, it may also be implied in conjunction with a drawn reciprocation dingle arm to reduce sinusoidal repleneration.
That's crazy. Okay, now in chat, did it still sound like he was talking about the same subjects of the photonic materials?
Yeah, right.
Seriously, it's like indistinguishable from like when you were reading the other thing. It sounded, it reminded me of that so much. Hey, me. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, topological materials could also help build quantum computers by creating quantum bits or qubits that can store multiple electronic states at the same time, similar to the way electronic bits in conventional computers store one of 2 possible states, on or off. Researchers at companies such as IBM and Google are working to create quantum computers using loops of superconducting coils at ultra-low temperatures or rare earth atoms suspended in a vacuum by laser beams. One major challenge is that if these qubits interact with the world around them, the quantum states that carry their information can disappear. If qubits were made out of topological insulators, the imperturbable quality of the material might make the qubit less vulnerable to outside disturbances.
Wow. Oh, man. And on that note, hey, you mind if we wrap up a little tiny bit early today?
Oh, that's fine with me, man.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little sick. I get this nausea just comes and goes.
Hey, so no worries.
I gotta go deal with it. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for showing up for Tech Talk today. We will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat place. Also, if you want to see us stream and do our individual things over on the Twitch, all of our links can be found in the video description. Even David Hewlett, he wasn't here with us today, but you can go find him over there, Tech Banditry. And if you guys want to suggest topics for the next show, or you want to just interact with us after the show, we're always over on Twitter. Tweet us at Barnacules, at AuxxZillary, and at D Hewlett.
Yes.
He didn't join us today, but he still enjoys being on the Twitter and being involved. So on that note, you guys, thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the subs and follows and digital kisses. You guys are the best, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.